shack at. The bottles getting empty, I'm the cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of it's what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated pump sports radio. Time to get educated, who get produced, play the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call the truth. They get slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a legal weapon, cause we be, pubbing. We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, April 25th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It was a tough day yesterday. The Operation Garcia had its worst day. These days are going to happen. The main anger is that I came into the NBA breakdown with 4 bets. I would have gone 4 for 4. Heat first quarter and the Thunder triple up. I made 0 of the bets. Now that's my fault. It's my fault for being weak. It's nobody else's fault. It's all my fault. It's fine trusting the people that I trust. They've made me money in the long run. It's fine. I didn't get paid. I left money on the table because I was weak. The main angle I had for the Thunder was that they needed game 1. This is their second playoff game, whereas this is game 5 of the series for the Pelicans. They're exhausted. They want to go home. And then the idea that they did have the extra day off, and it's all my fault. I was weak, left money on the table. I should be sitting here with 10 straight winners in the NBA. Now, I didn't take the other side. I just stayed off, so I still on a 6-game winning streak in the NBA, but it's frustrating. I feel bad for cappers that joined in on Operation Garcia yesterday for the first time, but you guys know how it is. Sometimes you're late to the party and you're early to the funeral. Now, I don't think that the markets are going to overcorrect themselves to unders or protect themselves from our player prop madness. But that's why we track it. So that's why we follow it very, very closely. And I'm surprised that it was as bad as it was yesterday. Yesterday was 16-19 minus 5.6 units. I don't really care about the unit side of things, but I lost $936. I lost $374 on Heat at Celtics. That went 8-9. 8-10 down, $562 in Pelicans Thunder, which makes us overall 199 and 147, 57.5%, plus 29.6 units, ROI plus 8.55%. Average line minus 114, and now we're up $5,512. I imagine the books and our locals and everyone who's just letting us roll here is very pleased with what went on last night, expecting the books to correct themselves, expecting there to be no holes in the books, the hole that we have perceived. So it is what it is. So we're now 8 days and 22 games in from a unit situation. We're 15-7. From a cash, did you win money on it? We're 16-6. Look, it's all good to me. It's all good to me. I think the importance for us to succeed, all this, everything going on, it can be a little overwhelming at times. And as we talk about so often, what you put into life is what you get out of it. And obviously, we're working our asses off right now because we're winning at such a high rate. And, it doesn't make the stress any easier. I'm feeling it right now. I'm feeling the difficulty. One thing we're going to start doing now on Thursdays and Fridays, and this is something that I talked with Jose about yesterday, is with our guests, Mr. Gogster in NHL for Thursday, Bobano on Friday, Troy Torrence on Thursday for NBA, Bobano on Friday. We're going to start capping 2 days of NHL playoffs and 2 days of NBA playoffs. So then we'll get 2 takes of the Friday games, and we're also going to talk Saturday with Bobano. So we're going to start doing that. I think that will be helpful to get different takes for the Friday games. So that will be on Thursdays and Fridays. Okay, so yes, the amount of work can feel debilitating at times, and the stress can get to us all. I do know I'm extremely thankful to be here. I'm extremely thankful for the opportunity to cap with you guys. I just am feeling that the work is weighing me down right now. There's no sleep to be had. I can't help but watch the roller coaster ride of our bets and our action, every second of it, and feel every second of it. And that shit weighs on you. I know that I'm going to break out of what I'm feeling right now. What I'm feeling right now is just this stress, you know, and I know I'm going to break out of it as I cap with you guys, and then we have some fun and find the joy in it. Right now, it's just work on top of work on top of work, adding in the Friday on Thursday and then adding in the Saturday on Friday. I mean, it's just more work, but it should bring us more money. We have Sammy Calmer in the house. He's on Tampa Bay first period. We're going to be here with Mr. Gogster shortly. Belleville Senators making him proud. I've made 4 bets on the 2-game card today, and I'm ready to attack tomorrow, but all the lines are going against me, so I'm just going to wait at this point. Viper MB in the house here and says, of course, tonight I bet the point unders in NBA they lose. That worried me. There's people who can, and I'm not saying this is you at all, Billy, but there's cappers, and I'm one of them at times, that can get negative. Oh, as soon as I get on it, it loses. I'm bad luck or something like that. That's not the case. You guys came to the party late, and you have to deal with the consequences. That was your guys' call to come late. I do not think it's possible for the market to correct themselves. What's happened is all these unders have been coming in. No games have been going to overtime. Now, as no games have gone to overtime, also, no one's gone off for 50. You know that first game that someone goes off for 50 or 60, we're going to get paid in full. But it did bother me last night that knowing how many of you guys were coming on board late after seeing how much money we made, and it's not going to be perfect. So that's our second losing night. These things happen. Brent Cook, Blue Jays money line, Magic money line, and Lightning money line. Buster Bay Husen in the house saying, how about those trends? Yes, you did excellent work yesterday. J-Dub, Phil the Kill. Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play today. Twins team total over 4.5. Says White Sox dismal pitching has caught up with their dismal hitting. He's going to ladder this up to 6.5 himself. The play is team total over 4.5. The Pig Milk play today 19 and 13 plus 7.44 units. And I also, what we're seeing is the Twins offense starting to progress to the mean. That's what we're seeing right now. And so I do think that they are an offense that we should start backing. I'm very interested in that look. Billy, my friend. Jay Smooth Balls play today is in. Smooth Balls play today. Simeon Woods Richardson. I'm so caught up in action and capping. Jose, I did not look at the playoff pool for today. If you could get that up for when we get into hockey with Gogster, I would like to see what's going on. Billy Friedrich saying Sorokin confirmed the net for the Islanders. When the Islanders broke down last game, that was our expectation, and that's been fulfilled. Justin McKelvey, Willie Adamas over 1.5 bases at plus 123. More plus money stacks action for us here. And shout out to our guy, Justin McKelvey. Oldie, ready to get to work. It is great to see you. My friend Benjamin Mills says, not a good night for Operate, but I mean, we didn't expect to win every single day. We just expected to win more than we would lose, and that's happened. And I don't feel like I need to apologize here for Operation Garcia not winning every single day. And if you guys don't want to go back to the window with it today, that's your prerogative. You have complete autonomy with however you want to handle your own action. But yeah, it's not going to win every day, and it didn't win yesterday. And we'll see what it does today as we talk about it tomorrow. And, of course, we're going to be betting it every day. I mean, right now, it was funny because as I was putting in all the records and putting in everything over the last week, I was thankful for the losses because, I mean, I don't want it to be ridiculous. I mean, I don't want to be shut down right away. And now I guess all the books and all our locals feel good about them not shutting us down. Joey Marinaccio, the dapper capper. There's Steve G with the positivity. Says, cheers. Good luck to everyone today. I need to see that. I need to find the fun here. It's just the work is starting to get to me. Gerald Jones in the house. Best bet Phillies run line full game. I have moved on 2 spots. I was shocked at the line. I almost took a ridiculous amount of juice because, I find that Bet365 does make some mistakes on first fives when the full game line is moving and they don't move the first 5. They had that Phillies minus 135. And at the time, Pinnacle was down under maintenance, and I didn't know exactly what Pinnacle had the line at. I bet it at 365. Pinnacle had it at minus 143, but that was crazy to me. Maybe walking into a trap. We'll talk all about that. Ross Pitt's ready to get to work. Serious business, ready to go. Rocco Rogers off another great night in NHL. That should be discussed too. I struggled in NHL last night. Obviously, I'm handling the Leafs-Bruins series poorly. That's what's happening here. I'm going to go back to the Leafs in Game 4. And I'm a little nervous about it because Marchand looked spectacular last night, and he's full of confidence. I still feel that without Bergeron and Krejci, they are vulnerable. And I'm not going to pitch it when we break it down as if everybody, this is the right move. Come bet it. But I'm going to keep betting it. And you could say you're betting on a Leafs team with no heart. When I watch Bertuzzi and Domi play, McCabe play, I see players with a lot of heart. So I'm not intimidated by a Boston Bruins team without Patrice Bergeron. Now, if I walked into TD Garden with a Maple Leafs jersey on, I would be intimidated very quickly. Their fan base is scary and tough and dangerous. And I won't get into what happened when I had friends in the Stanley Cup Finals go to TD Garden for Canucks Bruins, but they came back like they saw a ghost. They said they'd never do it again, and I won't get into it right now. We got to get to work. Von Polo ready to go. Joey Harb, D. Jenkins, Ross Pitts, Slatsy in the house. Sam Bennett out for Panthers is huge. Desperation game for Tampa on first period. Bolts minus 106 and the under 6. Interesting that you're just on the Bolts first period. Interesting. So I want the 60 minutes in this one. I really do. Morgan Spooner, J-Dub, Lee Davis. Here we go. Justin McKelvey says, once again, your conviction in OKC made me money. Appreciate it. I'm happy that you got it. I'm okay with all of it. Chase J in the house. Great to see you, Chase J. Primetime 99. Subhuman Gaucho. Hockey play days. Reinhart over 2.5 shots on goal. A mistake I made in the playoff pool is I don't think that necessarily anybody should have taken Marchand over Pasternak. I don't know how you would do it, but I should have taken Tkachuk over Reinhart. It's the playoffs. It's not the regular season. Tkachuk is the toughest, best player on that team. And Reinhart, in all honesty, whom I love, is third. He's behind Barkov. And he might even, Verhaeghe's a monster, but Reinhart's better than Verhaeghe. But you should think about those guys who step up under pressure in the most difficult circumstance. And that's who we need to be. And I was going to say that's who we are, but I don't say to I thrive under pressure. Give me pressure. No, I believe that. I feel that inside, but I'm not going to be this cocky motherfucker who sits here going, I thrive under pressure. Give me the most pressure situation. No, you don't tell everybody that you thrive under pressure. Other people see that you thrive under pressure and say, but that's again, I digress. Betting and Arbs Brewers money line is his lock, a word we don't use, but I will copy and paste it. I like the conviction, even if you use words that we don't use. All right, Brent Cook ready to go. BT, Doug. I know that we're on to something. It's all good. So 2 hockey cap is exactly what I need, says Justin McKelvey. I love it. We're going to do that in NBA too. My dude says the Pacers and Knicks are going to win those series. Says NBA really wants second round to be Pacers versus Knicks. They haven't played in the playoffs against each other since Reggie Miller. That's an interesting take, my dude, and I can't wait to talk basketball. It's on my mind here. So, thank you guys for joining us. We got Troy Torrence, Mike Wilkerson, everybody ready to go. If I didn't say what's up, my apologies. I wish I did. Slatsy, thank you. Markel, Perky, Johnny K. Sancho, a Razor Sharp Picks in the house, a night show for the Razor Sharp Picks horse racing channel. And there will be another huge show in 8 days for the Kentucky Oaks. And I'll be right there with them as soon as this show ends. Shout out to Razor Sharp Picks. Okay. So Billy Friedrich says, I'm guessing that game in Boston story is similar to my friends who went to see the Brewers play the Boston Red Sox at Fenway. It's wild, and I look forward to talking about it. But this isn't the time. We need to get to work right now. Slatsy said, I mentioned yesterday Vegas top 4D is so elite. Last night, Vegas did not allow a shot in the last 5:38 of the game with 3-1 lead. Legit. You know, it's funny. I mean, I've talked myself off of the Stars in 2 games in a row, and it's important. We talk about leaving money on the table, but those were important caps. I talk about how confident I am in game 2s, which angered me for not being on OKC triple up like I come into the show planning, but that's okay. But the read on yesterday's show that it's unfair and the Golden Knights are that good and they've circumvented the cap and got even better and all that stuff was great. There is good things happening here, even though we're coming off of a losing day. I know not all of us are coming off of a losing day. I am coming off of a losing day, and these losing days have been rare. Okay, I understand that I'm heavy today, and I apologize. It's just that this fucking battle that we fight is so hard, and the harder you work, the more that you succeed and the more cash you make and the easier it is to improve your life. And sometimes I get weighed down by the amount of work we have to do. I'm very thankful for the stars we have in the chat and the stars we have on the show. We have in NHL today, Mr. Gogster. In MLB, we have Jose Bouquett and best bets from our guy, Daby Cab. And then we have Troy Torrence. By the way, Troy Torrence right now on our show, 13-8. 61.9%, ROI plus 22.29% with an average line of -104 in NBA. So shout out to our guy here. Mikey Money in the house. All right, let's get to work. It's great to see you, Mikey Money. And let's do what we do. Work as a team, come out with the bag. Let's bring on our first guest, and we'll touch on the playoff pool. I haven't looked at it in the last 24 hours, so I'd like to see what's going on in it. But let's bring on your first guest. His Belleville Senators won their first playoff game in franchise history. And Solikov, we talked yesterday. We talked yesterday about Solikov being in the Mark Stone trade in 2019 for a Pierre Dorion, that idiot. That ass clown that's ruined the Senators franchise. Solikov looking good, first line winger there. Maybe we shouldn't rule on that trade yet. Let's welcome our guy and yours, known for, well, his nickname's Raw Dog. Please welcome Mr. Gogster to the show. Mr. Gogster, how are you?
Oh, doing good, Jim. Yeah, Sokolov there. Yeah, he's been on fire. He's been 3 years, most amount of games for us, and got the win against the Marlies. Unfortunately, both Toronto teams took an L last night, even though I got the jersey on today. It was too bad because, they played a really good game. Swayman, I have my opinion there, Jim. He just, Swayman made a lot of key saves there. And then that shot by Marchand, I'll give it to him. That was a snipe of a shot, eh? So it's good to be here with you, Jim, to talk some hockey today. Let's get after it, buddy.
Let's get after it here. Let's see what's going on in the playoff pool very quickly. Here we go. Raise up the screen. And we got a tie up front. TJ and myself tied up front. Earl 1 point back with Philly Eagle Flyer. My mom 2 points back, tied with Sammy Comer. I cannot wait to ask Bobano tomorrow what the thought process was on taking Hyman and Fogle over McDavid and Draisaitl. Mr. Gogster, second last. Let's take a quick look at Gogster's team here. Thomas Harley.
Yeah, there's a last second edition there, and a lot of these picks, Jim. I was thinking this was, for some reason, I didn't read the fine print. I was thinking it was going to be picking the game. So last second there, look at me. I got Willie Nylander there. Didn't think he was going to not show up. And then look at those two losers on Dallas, Duchesne and Hintz. Haven't done anything
Matt
for
Duchesne
me,
in the playoffs. Wow. Over Robertson.
Yeah, I know. After I saw him score that goal, I was like, what the hell are you thinking?
What was Why did you take Harley over Heiskanen?
Again, I thought this guy, he was good in the regular season. Honestly, I took too many defensemen, Jim. I'm just looking at this, like Adam Fox too, and then Slavin. Like that Slavin pick was a bonehead play too by me. So I've never been much of a fantasy guy, to be honest. I'm picking games, kind of like picking series, but yeah, I'm happy to give my donation to whoever wins this.
Well, we are happy to receive your donation, Mr. Gogster, second last. All right, well, let's get to work. Great to see all you guys. Sancho said Sixers up to -5.5. We're going to be breaking all. I'm still worried about Embiid's knee, and we'll go over all of that here. But let's get to work in NHL here, Mr. Gogster. We have 5 games to cap. Now, we do have a 12:35 game in MLB, so let's finish this by noon in 36 minutes max. We start at 7 p.m. The East first round, game 3. Florida up in the series 2-0. Florida Panthers 52-24-6, 26. Oh, I got to get this. Got to shrink this. I can't. I don't want to see myself that close. Okay, there we go. Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. Bobrovsky's been phenomenal. Vasilevsky's been very good. Just remember, a little feather in your cap for the rest of your hockey capping lives. When Russian goalies face off against each other, they play at their absolute best. Something happens, and it's magic, and we're lucky to be a part of it. And we had Sean Higgs come in when the note was made that there was no open space. There's no space. The goals are being scored on power play. There's no open space. Sean Higgs came in and he was on the under in game 2, and it made a ton of sense. Does it make sense here? My thing is that I don't care as much about totals when there's complete parity between the two hockey teams. It's something I've always felt. That totals, when there's so much parity, I get a little uncomfortable because one team gets a couple bounces and then all of a sudden they start skating downhill. Right now we have the Tampa Bay Lightning at -105 at Pinnacle. I got in on the Lightning at -102. They opened up at -105. They got up to -117 yesterday at 5:44 p.m. Yeah. I got them at -102. I don't care that the market was moving against me. From a total side of things here, this is a 6 at -103 to the under. It opened at -113 to the under. So we've had a very interesting move to the over in this game. And I think that games that the Lightning win will be over games. Now, I'm on the Lightning here, but what we know about the Panthers is that when they're so phenomenal defensively, but if they get down 2 or 3 goals, they open it up. Florida power play in the regular season. Again, we're not going to use playoff stats yet. The sample size is too small. So we're still going to use the regular season stats. Florida power play 23.5%, penalty killing 82.5%. Tampa power play 28.6%, penalty killing 83.3%. Panthers head to Tampa after winning their 6th straight game. This is a hot hockey team. 3-2 in overtime at home over the Lightning on Tuesday. Sergei Bobrovsky was excellent, and Carter Verhaeghe scored the overtime winner. If I watched the Canucks pick up players from shitty hockey teams. Oliver Ekman-Larsson off of Arizona. You pick up Elias Lindholm off of Calgary. If you watch the teams that succeed, they take their players from the best teams in the NHL. Where did Carter Verhaeghe come from? The Tampa Bay Lightning. Yep. Carter Verhaeghe became the 6th player in NHL history with 5 playoff overtime game winners.
Guy's a winner.
Listen to this. There are 2 players in NHL history with more overtime playoff goals than Carter Verhaeghe. Just 2. That's who Carter Verhaeghe is. Joe Sakic with 8 and Maurice Rocket Richard with 6. Wow. That's the type of sentence that Carter Verhaeghe is in. He's a fucking winner. Wow. Now, Sam Bennett left with an injury in the second period. He was hit by a slap shot. Brandon Montour slap shot. Went directly to the locker. Well, it says locker room here.
That's what it is.
No, it's not. Went directly to the dressing room. And he didn't return. So he's sidelined for a week. We're not entirely sure. He was holding his wrist, but he's going to be out for at least a week. And Ryan Lomberg is dealing with an illness. And yes, Steve G, you have every right to be in love with Burnaby Joe. And Lee Davis says, I'm the only one that likes Tampa series at plus 580. I like it. Maybe I'll put a little piece, like not much, but I don't mind it. Losing Bennett is a huge loss. He's a playoff forward. And that Brad Treliving can get a job managing the Toronto Maple Leafs when he gives away a player like Sam Bennett. It shouldn't be allowed. He should not be able to be a manager again because of the terrible decisions he made that threw his franchise, the Flames, into a huge hole. And then Ryan Lomberg, I don't know what this illness is. And I can't even say the name Ryan Lomberg without thinking of Office Space. And that's a little bit of levity I can finally have off the last 24 hours of straight capping is Lomberg factor. Braden Point, Stamkos scored for the Tampa Bay Lightning. 2 assists from Hedman. Vasilevsky stopped 34 shots. Obviously, that save, the Bobrovsky save, will be talked about forever and ever. Every franchise has their save, and that's the Panthers' save right now. We have it in Vancouver with the Kirk McLean save in Game 7 of the Calgary Flames, Vancouver Canucks 1994 first-round series. Hayden Fleury remains out of the line with an undisclosed injury. So here we go. I am on the Tampa Bay Lightning at -102. And that's it for me. Take it away, Gogster. Your plan, Panthers, Lightning.
Yeah, great breakdown as always, Jim. I'm talking about those injuries quick here. Bennett and Lomberg. Yeah, without those two players, the ice is going to open up. It just is. Like, those are the two guys, the grit, the sandpaper. They're the ones that are going to just make them rush the puck. Whenever these are two forecheckers, even down low, even in front of the net, there's going to be more room in front of the net too without those two guys when Tampa Bay have the puck in their zone. Now, no Fleury still day-to-day. With the concussion I have there, Jim. Then Sergachev, hopefully next series, if Tampa Bay can get that far, he can come back. But I'm in agreement with you, Jim. I do think Tampa Bay are live here. That plus 550, someone in the chat said that. I would take that now because I think they're going to win this game. That'll drop significantly. So first period, Jim, I'm going to take them in the first period here. I think they're going to come out guns a-blazing. Whenever you got Tampa Bay, I've seen it as a Leaf fan. It's a tough barn to play at, especially in the playoffs. Game 1, they're going to have girl with the, she's got the sparkly blue lipstick. She loves to just scream away that anthem, but she'll be doing her thing. -107, guys. Tampa Bay first period money line. Quick. So far, these power plays, Jim, they've been pretty lethal. And if you're going to take out Bennett and Blomberg, I think Tampa Bay is going to score here tonight. I'm also going to tie that one in, guys. I have a couple save props for you. Block shots right now, 18-13 for Tampa Bay over Florida. That's a big thing in the playoffs, guys. You'll see a lot of these shot attempts, but you're not getting as many pucks on net. So I think Vasilevsky, if you look at what he's done, 34-37, then 25-27. I think you're gonna see more 20. They're not going to get 28 shots on net here, guys, I think. And even if they do, they could at least score 1 or 2. It happened last night. I had the goalie for Boston there. He had 28. Hit the under 28.5, but Vasilevsky, guys, 28.5 under saves. I think that's live here. I really do. Tampa Bay is going to be I think they're going to try and control this pace, Jim. And even if Florida are going to get some shots on net, this is one of the best teams in the hockey, especially a veteran team. Those are the ones that are blocking shots. Look at Nashville too. They were blocking tons of shots against Vancouver. So Tampa Bay is live here, guys, and a little goalie prop for you. Vasilevsky under 28.5 saves tonight, -101.
I like it. You may want to go. I imagine that they're not going to get a ton of shots in the first period. So you may want to look for a live middle after the first period if they're shut down. Because if things open up, then they're going to start throwing everything at the net and open up. And so a live,
great call. Yeah.
Live middle. But that's if it goes the way we expect it with the Lightning first period, even though I'm only on Lightning full game. Brian Watson, we don't know how long Bennett will be out. They're saying a week.
Yeah,
but it could be a lot longer. That's game 1. I'm on the Tampa Bay Lightning full game at -102. Mr. Gogster on the Tampa Bay Lightning first period -103. Sammy Kummer also on that. Mr. Gogster on Vasilevsky under 29.5 saves at -101. Rocco Rogers is on that first. Sorry, is that 28?
28.5.
28. First period over 1.5 for Rocco, over 1.5 power play goals +120. Stamkos power play point at +200. Hedman over 1.5 block shots -125. Philly Eagle Flyer says script says Lightning and Isles should win. Don't believe the Isles do though. Well, let's get into that right
60
now.
minutes will be tough.
So here we go. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, East first round, game 3, Carolina leading 2-0. I believe in this New York Islanders hockey team. They're not as good as Carolina. Carolina may be the best team in the league. but I believe that they can win this hockey game. And I'm very comfortable with the risk reward with the Islanders at plus 144. I'm extremely comfortable with the implied probability and all of that. Another thing that I want you guys to keep your eye out for, and I don't mean to simplify totals too much in NHL, but we come to the playoffs and we just see the zigzag theory. Now, look, we didn't see it in the Oilers-Kings game. That's just all goals and goals and goals. But I am going back to the under well. In game 1, I was on the first period under 1.5. I lost it. They scored 2 goals in that first period. I only scored 3 goals in that hockey game.
That's how it's been.
So I cashed the full game under 5.5, but I lost the first period under 1.5. I'm going right back to it. I'm on and Billy Friedrich, it looks like Pesci is done for the season. We're going to get into that as well. I'm on the first period under 1.5. I'm on the full game under 5.5. I'm on the Islanders money line. I'm hammering this hockey game. I think that it's going to be similar to that Florida Tampa game where there's just no space. There's no space on the ice. That's what I expect the Islanders to do. I also hope that was pressing the right buttons on Ilya Sorokin. I desperately hope that. So Hurricanes, Islanders, UBS Arena, Elmont, New York. Freddie Anderson in the regular season looked excellent. He's followed that up. Not quite as good. 13-2-0. 1.84 goals against average, 932 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Ilya Sorokin, 25-19-12, 3.01 goals against average, 909 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Now, when Bobano came on and talked about how if the first game went really low scoring, he was going to attack the over in game 2, and that he also, if he ever saw a 5, was going to attack the over. The idea being, look at Carolina's power play at 26.9%. If you prorate that power play to only when Jake Gensel's been on the team, it's the best power play in the National Hockey League. Certainly that changes things, and the New York Islanders penalty killing has been a problem. It's just been a problem and a problem and a problem. 71.5%. It's the worst penalty killing in the league of the playoff teams. It could even be the worst in the league. I don't remember writing any. No one was in the 60s.
For
Hurricanes, say what?
Well, like the Islanders, or the Hurricanes?
Islanders penalty killing.
Yeah, it's been poor all year. Yeah, it's been poor all year. Yeah.
Hurricanes coming to this with this 2-0 lead. So they come back from a 3-0 deficit. They win 5-3 game 2 at Carolina on Monday. The Hurricanes outshot the Islanders 39-12. There were mistakes made by the Islanders. You can't stop shooting. You can't stop. You got to keep your foot on the gas against a good hockey team. Yeah. So Aho scores with 2:15 remaining, and then Martinuk, who's, he might be my favorite Carolina Hurricane. I just love him. He scores that wraparound. Incredible. Seth Jarvis was incredible.
He's having a good play.
Kyle Palmieri, Bohover, Anders Lee, gave them the 3-0 lead. Losing Pesci is a big deal, but they have a very good defense that might be able to handle this. Jesper Fast remains out of the lineup, much to Jose Bouquet's chagrin as he picked them in the hockey pool. And the Islanders are a very healthy group. Swiggy says Carolina already came out and gave up an early lead. Coach let it happen again. Field Canes may be focused, play full 60 minutes. Coach demanding professionalism. And that's why I'm on the under.
Yeah, the under.
That is why I'm on the under in this one. I have 3, but I'm hammering this hockey game. Islanders plus 144. New York Islanders, Carolina, first period under 1.5 at minus 117. And full game under 5.5. And I didn't give you guys the line history, which is very important. This 5.5 to the under is sitting exactly where I bet it. It has not moved. Pinnacle has not moved. And then there's been a slight move to the Islanders to plus 140. I got in at plus 144. It had gone up to plus 146. I expect this to continue to move slightly towards the Islanders. I expect them to end up around plus 135 or plus 134. Take it away, Gogster. Game 2, Hurricanes, Islanders.
I think, you're onto something with that under, Jim. And after those first couple games, they kind of know, the more they play, the more they're going to know what the team's tendencies, right? So the first periods, they're going to start to hit, I think, more as the series goes on, especially in these 2 games, actually. Kind of a slower pace, and not much ice, as we like to say during this show. But both these power plays, I know it's small sample size here, but the Islanders have been scoring. I don't know how many that has been, but I got 33% so far in those 2 games. Now, Sorokin, that's the big news here, guys. Sorokin is going to get the first start of the playoffs, and this has been their guy for the last 3 years now. Looking at a couple games, he faced 40 shots his last 2 games against the Rangers in Pittsburgh. He really, he's been so up and down. But you know what? Looking in the playoffs last year, Jim, he had a 929 save percentage. He was 2-4. Now that's kind of how I see this game going. He's gonna put this team in a good position to win. It's just Carolina is just so deep, guys, especially with Gensel coming back. Any mistakes the Islanders make, Carolina's a team that's gonna just pounce on it. They really are. So, but with that being said, I've been talking about block shots, Jimmy. 28 block shots per game in just those 2 games, small sample size. But 28 block shots for the Islanders, and then only 10 for Carolina. Carolina's not that kind of team for the most part. They're not gonna block as many shots. So this Islander team, they're like a grit and grind kind of hockey team, and that's the kind of pace I see this game being at. So 2-1 is live, 3-2. I really see this being a lower scoring game. Now I did take the Islanders, Jim, first period money line. I think they're going to try and dictate this pace, similar. Just both these teams being down 2-0. This is big for both these teams to set the pace here, not get down in this game. So I'm going to take the Islanders plus 123 in the first period as well. Some of the same as Tampa Bay guys. And then I'm also taking Sorokin under 20. Did I mix that up? I think I didn't mix that up, Jim. Actually, I think you're right. 20. I have actually Sorokin under 29.5 saves, but I think that's 28 actually. And I do think Vasilevsky was 29. But I see Sorokin, guys. He's with all those block shots. This is going to be the kind of game the Islanders are going to want to play. Down 2-0. It's just not a lot of ice. They're not going to give Carolina a lot. Now, as the game goes on, that's where I'm a little more worried if Carolina, because if they make a couple mistakes, this Carolina team can really pounce. So give me the. I didn't take the under, but that's probably a very strong play, I think, Jim. But I'm also taking Sorokin under 29.5 saves I have here, guys. I tweeted out Gogster 99. That's the official picks.
So it's flipped though when I put in the records.
Say that again, Jim.
Sorokin's under 29.5 and Vasilevsky's under 28.5.
That's what I have. See, I got the old Excel sheets there. I'm an Excel guy.
Okay, so well, can you let me know?
I'm just bringing it up right now. It's Vasilevsky is 29.5. You were right, Jim.
Okay, so
and then Sorokin's 28. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I will make sure that's flipped. Okay, that is Friday action here, tonight's action. So now we're going to be doing this for NHL and NBA. We're going to be going 48 hours ahead of time for these playoff games here. So we're ready to rock on Saturday and ready to rock on Friday, ready to get that money in the weekend. So let's go. Saturday action, Saturday, April 27th. Let's get right to work. Here we go. We start tonight. Here we go. Sorry. Let's start that again. Jose, we'll start that cut again. Okay. Saturday, April 27th. That's going to be for tomorrow's show. Lack of sleep. Here we go. Now to break down the Friday, April 26th NHL card. Let's get to work. 7 p.m. Eastern. We have game 3 of the New York Rangers at the Washington Capitals. These Rangers 55-23-4 in the regular season. We're an excellent road team, 25-12-4 at the Capitals, who were good at home. They were good at home, 22-12-7. We're at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Shesterkin versus Charlie Lindgren. This Ranger power play, 26.4%. Penalty killing, 84.5% during the regular season. Washington power play, 20.6%. Penalty killing, 79%. Let's get into the line history here for this big hockey game. We have the Capitals right now at plus 151. They opened up at plus 146. They're now at plus 151. I don't want to have anything to do with the Washington Capitals. And in fact, one of my fears in dogs who I don't think have much of a chance is that when the team they're facing that's better than them goes on the road, that's when it's a more clinical victory. Now you could say, but you're betting the Islanders on Thursday night. That would be a fair thing to hammer me with right away. I think the Islanders are a really good hockey team. Now they're not as good as the Hurricanes, and yes, we've seen teams who are better than their opponent play sloppy at home. I'm very used to teams tightening up that ship and playing very, very good on the road. I think that could happen here. In saying that out loud, it actually gives me some interest in the New York Rangers, but my interest is the under. My interest is going back to the under. With the Capitals at home, knowing how they have to play against this Rangers team. Now, there's been a big move to the over, and I'm just sitting back watching it. This opened up on Wednesday morning at the over 5.5 was plus 105. It's now minus 105. I'm going to sit back and wait for this. This is a spot where I want the first period under and the full game under. I wonder if I think the Rangers are a good price here. I didn't until I started saying, talking to you out loud about this game. I thought, I didn't want the big favorite here, but maybe I do. Rangers coming off 4-3 victory at home in game 2 to give them a 2-0 lead in the series. Trocheck and Zibanejad each had a goal and assist. They look excellent. We talk often about you get your players from winning hockey teams. Trocheck coming in from the Florida Panthers, Roslovic and Keandre Miller. And then you could say, well, look, Roslovic came from a bad hockey team. The Columbus
He was a Winnipeg once upon a time.
He was. That was the part of the what what trade was that for? I can't even remember that.
Okay, I know he went from there to Columbus.
Was he part of it was either the Line A or the okay. But yes, and Eric Gustafsson looks very good. And Alexis Lafreniere, we talked about him before, that game too. He looks like everything you thought he was going to be. Big now. He's big. He's growing into his body. He's tough out there, and he can score. So, look, New York looking for their first Stanley Cup in 30 years. I remember their last Stanley Cup. It bothered me very, very, very much. Obviously, I'm a Canucks fan. I don't think it's been that long, 30 years. But they've won 4 straight. They've won 12 of 15. They are absolutely rolling right now. They scored 2 power play goals and 1 shorthanded goal. There aren't goals 5-on-5 in this series, and I really, really want the under. I think this is going to zigzag back to the under, and I expect to bet it, but I'm going to let everybody bet the over and sit back and wait. Tom Wilson had a goal and assist. He's your perfect playoff performer. McMichael playing well, Strome playing well. The Capitals are playing well coming into this. Where is Alexander Ovechkin? He had 1 shot on goal after he was held without one in game 1. Alex, where are you? Is it because the goals don't count? Alex? Is that why you're not around?
Oh, man.
Alex got to step up, and I bet you he will. He's full of heart and full of character. I don't think he doesn't care about these goals because they don't count towards his run at Gretzky. Take it away, Gogster, Rangers, Capitals.
Yeah, Ovi, he's been missing the net. A lot of them have been blocked. I was watching some of these games, and he's been getting pissed off too. Like, he's kind of showing a lot of emotion there. A couple of hits too in this series, but in this game here, I've been watching Lindgren a lot, Jim, and he looks awkward in net. He looks kind of awkward in net, and the only thing I'm worried about is him kind of rolling like with this playoff series. Like, this isn't a position he's used to here, and it's gonna be his first home game. His brother, actually, guys, is on the Rangers. I slipped my mind, but he's defenseman number 54, 55 there, another Lindgren. So the pressure might be a little too much for Charlie Lindgren here, guys. I do maybe think you're saying how you think the Rangers could be live. The only thing I worry about maybe would be just 5-on-5 scoring for the Rangers, but they got a weaker, I'm not too sure about Lindgren going forward. I just watching some of his saves. He's also a right-handed goalie, guys. So he catches with his right hand, or opposite, left-handed goalie, catches with the right hand. So eventually the Rangers, the first couple series, Jim, they were firing the puck at his glove, thinking it was low blocker the whole time I was watching. He kept scooping it up like a ground ball almost. So now that this series goes on, I think the Rangers, I would lean towards the Rangers here to win this game. Now, I wouldn't do first period. I do think that anytime a team's down 2-0, then they get to go back home. The first period's gonna be buzzing, especially in any barn right now. Ryan Lindgren, thank you, Rocco. So I got nothing on this one, Jim, but I would be probably looking towards the Rangers. If Charlie has a really good game, it would surprise me. I do think the Rangers are more likely 60 minutes are going to be live here, unless they just lay an egg. But there's so many defensive issues too, right? With the Capitals, they got no Sandin, they got no Jensen, where it's and then this I can't even pronounce his name. He's got
Iorio.
Yeah, he's got 4 vowels and 1 consonant. Like what a name. He's day-to-day too. Called him up for Hershey. And then Bears in the assistance program. So they're really thin on defense. With Charlie Lindgren and net, guys, it just seems like a bad recipe going forward. So I would probably be on the Rangers here, regulation or Rangers like a team total over.
I did not realize that the Rangers -1 here, whom I didn't touch in games 1 and 2, makes sense to me in game 3, tightening everything up and getting with the unders. I didn't, and now I'm going to move on, and I'm going to move on that as soon as possible because I think my line will move. That fan, there is a show tomorrow, as I stated off the top. We're going to be doing Thursday and Friday NHL and NBA on Thursdays, and Friday and Saturday NHL and NBA. So you can get a couple different looks from things, and you won't need to hear my take tomorrow. And Fridays are very long shows. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, West first round game 3 series is tied 1-1. Canucks 50, 23-9, 23-14 4 on the road at the Nashville Predators, 47-30 5, 23-16 2 at home Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. I wish I saw the Maple Leafs the way I see the Canucks. And I bet you if I was born and raised in Toronto, not Vancouver, and was just sitting amongst all of the losses my whole life, I'd be fading the Leafs in every game here like I'm doing here in the Canucks Nashville Predators series. You can't get the stink off the Canucks franchise. Rick Tocchet's trying to do it. Pat Quinn tried to do it before him and did it. When did it start changing? I don't know. But we're just this franchise will probably get to 100 years without winning a Stanley Cup. They lose all-world goaltender Thatcher Demko. I mean, it's just bad luck. This total is now at 6. It actually opened up at 6. We see a lot of 5.5s on the board. I thought there were 5.5s all over the board, but this opened up at 6. So it hasn't moved. Minus 119 to the under. And on the money line here, there's just 3 games left in the NHL, so we'll be quick here because we have afternoon baseball. Nashville sitting at minus 113. They opened up at minus 116. I couldn't understand this move towards the Canucks. I just didn't understand it. Now there's been a 2-cent move back to Nashville. I already have the Nashville Predators to win the division at plus 141, I believe. I already cashed on them around that same number in game 2. But I think I want more. Philip Forsberg's rolling goal and assist. Beauvillier playing good hockey because it's a revenge situation. The Canucks didn't want him because he's so soft. He's stepping up. Colton Sissons, North Vancouver boy, stepping up. We've been talking about Colton Sissons adding to the depth and character of this hockey team all year, like Luke Shen and Ryan McDonough, all these players full of character. Kiefer Sherwood had a goal. Saros looked good enough. And they blocked 31 shots. 31 shots.
Yeah.
Loves this team. 0 for 4 on the power play. Take it away for us here, Gogster. I plan on moving on Nashville in game 3 again, but I imagine JT Miller is going to play spectacular.
Yeah.
Like I imagine the Canucks are going to throw everything but the kitchen sink, but I don't think it'll be enough. I could just leave this alone too. I got the to win the series, but I think I want it. Take it away, Gogster. Canucks, Predators.
Yeah, I don't think Vancouver, the playoffs, they're just not really built for the playoffs, I think, Jim. Like Höglander, you got Mikheyev, you got Dakota Joshua's a great player now. He just needs, I think, more time maybe in the playoffs. He'll probably go on, if Vancouver doesn't go deep sooner than later, he's going to be a prospect, or not a prospect, but someone's going to pick him up. Like Lindholm, Garland, he's playing his ass off, small player, but great, playing really well. Quinn Hughes too, Jim. I watch a lot of Quinn Hughes' shots. He's getting a lot of these shots blocked. Like all those blocks, I guarantee you Quinn Hughes had at least 5 of them, maybe more. A lot of his point shots are just getting blocked. He's not able to he's not able to get these pucks deep. Pucks deep on Saros, that is. Saros has been playing pretty good too this series. Now with DeSmith and net too, I think it's tough. Like it's always tough. Just I think as a team, Jim, whenever you have your backup goalie in, like they're going to give it their all here. The Canucks, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think they're really built for the playoffs long term here. Just some of those players I was bringing up, just small. Also Pettersson, he's been playing real bad. I'm watching him. He's kind of got I don't know what it is. He's just got the bug where he just can't score. Everything's just kind of going wrong for him right now. Just playoff hockey. He's not adjusting to it. Like
he's a boy. He's a boy in a man's league.
Exactly. Like he's not able to kind of grow up in this league yet. And and then Höglander, like I've been watching him. He's skating in the corners. He's playing well. It's just you need more than that. JT Miller, you got Pius Sutter, I see here, Jim, and then Besser on the top line. The Predators are really built for the playoffs. You brought up some of their players they brought in, and they finally kind of figured them out last game. You got DeSmith and net. Feels like kind of Canucks kind of just got the injury at the wrong time. Similar to kind of the Leafs with Nylander. Where the hell's he been? But enough of the Leafs. Nashville team total over 2.5, Jim, in the money line. It's going to be plus 105. That's what I'm going to fire on here. I think Nashville get it done at home.
tweet it out and tag me and we'll make these official for your record. Let's move on. 2 games left tomorrow. You're not going to hear my full breakdowns tomorrow, but we'll hear Bobano's. 10 p.m. Eastern, West first round, game 3. Winnipeg Jets, Colorado Avalanche. Jets 52-24-6. They were very good on the road this year, 25-13-3 at the Avalanche, who were 31-9-1 at home. Paul Arena in Denver, Colorado. I flipped in this spot. At first, I thought, wow, this is a really good price for Colorado. I should take them on the -1 line. And then I got a little nervous. The Jets have a lot of character. I'm not going to fade Colorado at home at all in the playoffs. So it's a matter, do I back Colorado or do I just stay off?
Yeah.
I also wonder, so there's been a 5-cent move to the Avalanche from -161 to -166. And when we get to the total here in this one, we have the Avalanche sitting right now at a 6.5 -110. I wonder, will it be tighter here? I mean, again, these are 2 very good hockey teams. They have snipers, they have character. It's difficult to feel like I have an edge. Georgiev stepped up. He needs to. Hellebuck has to step up. He's not looked good through 2 games. Avalanche answered all of the critics. They look very good in that 5-2 win. Lehkonen goal and assist. Wood, Parise, Manson, and Nishushkin. I mean, we're not talking about their superstars here. That's how you know a team's rolling right now. Gustafsson and Scheifele scored for the Jets. Hellebuck has to be better. And I don't feel like I have an edge at this point. But I did initially. It's funny that I'm now liking the Rangers -1 because initially I wanted Colorado -1 and I sort of got off of it just because of how Winnipeg lost and how angry they're going to be. But again, not fading Colorado in their barn in these playoffs. Take it away, Gogster, Jets, Avalanche.
This is a tough series. The pace is so damn fast in this game, Jim. It's any goaltender, even like Hellebuck's the best, and even he's struggling. It's just both these teams are just so damn quick. Like I wouldn't. I was actually with my old man there, and he thought the second game would be lower scoring, 7-6. It'd be a little tighter, and then just this speed. Colorado got 5, and then Winnipeg got shut out in that third period there. So, Gerard's got a concussion too. Day to day, I have here. They're gonna want him back, but they got 2 other great weapons on defense that really move the puck too. So. It's a stay off game for me, Jim. It's a really tough game for me to get a grip on, to be honest. I would think Colorado get this one done, but the Jets are, I think they're built for the playoffs too, to be honest. I like their 4 lines defensively too. This is just a really good matchup, guys. I could see this going 7, at least 6 games here. So it's going to be a no play, Jim. I couldn't even tell you the total. It's a really tough series, funnest series to watch. Maybe a live bet would be the way to go, I think, in this Winnipeg Colorado game.
Yeah, even that makes me nervous. I guess I'd only want Colorado down. I guess looking at it live, but let's walk into this final spot on tomorrow's board. 10:30 p.m. Eastern, West first round, game 3. Oilers, Los Angeles Kings, Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California. This made me. I was pretty angry last night watching all the results of everything. I had no goal first 10 minutes. There was not even a scoring chance until that giveaway from Kopitar to Kempe, and Kempe's such a monster. And Kopitar tying Luke Robitaille's, franchise record for games played in the playoffs was a lot of fun to watch. It's been a lot of fun to watch Kopitar's whole career.
Yeah,
I should have been on the Kings first period. Everything, my whole cap was about. I don't know what. It was very frustrating. The Kings evened up the series with an impressive 5-4 victory in Edmonton in game 2. When I saw the clips, of Drew Doughty losing his mind on his hockey team, I was like, oh shit, that's what you need. Drew Doughty stepped up that goal. It was fun. I like watching Drew Doughty succeed very, very much. Remember, he went number 2 overall. Steven Stamkos number 1 overall. What monsters! What great hockey players. So let's go into the line history here in this. Is there still going to be all these goals being scored? Because the Kings said, look, we can play fire for fire, and that surprised me. This under 6.5 at -118. I want, obviously, you guys know what I want. I want the Kings to beat the Oilers. I've got futures on the Kings. The problem with it, though, is if the Kings dispatch the Oilers, can they keep winning?
Especially Vegas, man. Vegas, holy crow.
Well, they don't need to worry about Vegas on the other side. The winner, the Oilers were gifted this run to the conference final. Who are the best teams in the Western Conference? Well, you could say the Oilers and the Knights in the Pacific, but the Knights have crossed over. So the best teams in the Pacific are Dallas, Colorado, and now you have 3 of those teams over there: Dallas, Colorado, Winnipeg, Vegas. 4 of those teams over there. I mean, it's a gift for everybody in this side of things.
Yeah, so they got the winner in Nashville then, eh?
Nashville, Vancouver. I mean, if the Kings play Nashville, then you guys know
It's a good point, Jim. That is a much easier bracket. That's a
much easier. So the Kings are plus 113 right now. I think that they're live here. They're live in this series. I don't find Edmonton to be a juggernaut, although, when McDavid and that first line starts rolling, they're tough to beat. But they were nowhere to be found. Dylan Holloway scored twice. Kulak. Now Hyman did score. Skinner's vulnerable. So... and then look at that Vegas, Colorado next round. I mean, Vegas is going through the toughest division in hockey. Now the Met could have something to say about that. Here, I don't feel like I have an edge. As you guys know, I have futures on the Oilers and the Kings in the West, and I have futures on the Panthers and the Lightning in the East. It sucks that both teams are playing in the first round. Take it away, Gogster. Oilers, Kings.
Yeah, I think Edmonton, they're too loose. They play too loose. They almost play regular season hockey, to be honest, it looks like in this playoffs. And then look last night, they're up there and then the Kings came back. So Kings were up and then Edmonton was up. But in this series, I think they're just so susceptible. I think the overs are going to be a trend in this game, Jim. The LA Kings at home here coming off that win. I think the first period we're going to see goals. We saw what was it, 2-1 yesterday. I think first period, both teams to score plus 155. I'm going to fire on that one too, guys. I'll tweet it out there, Gogster99. I think that's going to be live here, Jim. You could say they're going to lock up here, but I don't trust the Oilers. Full game I think is live as well. I'm gonna go both teams to score in the first period, Jim. I just think they're too loose. And then even yesterday's game, I would have thought it would have been a little tighter to start, but then LA came out 2 goals early there, and then Edmonton still matched them got that one late. But I think this is going to be it's going to be a back and forth game. I really do. So Steve G saying the Kings win their home games, Oilers are done. Yeah, 100%. If anytime I find, Jim, if you got at least 1-1, I know I'm saying this now with Toronto, they lost last night, but anytime you get at least 1-1, you're definitely live. So I'm going to go first period, both teams to score. Even the over Rocco's on there. It's only minus 120. I had that last night there. I didn't tweet it out, but I had the over 1.5 last night, cashed early, minus 120. So yeah, look for the over, but it's 6.5 now. They're expecting goals here, just how loose this game's kind of been in this series. So I'd be leaning towards the over here. I see Swiggy saying Kings at home. They have been a stronger under team at home, but in this playoffs, Edmonton's going to be quick enough. I think they'll be able to give them a little bit of problems. And then on the other side, the Kings are able to bounce back. So I wouldn't trust either side here. It's going to be a tough game for me, Jim. I would lean the Kings, but I think it's a back and forth hockey game.
I cannot wait. to watch these games. I guess I think I'm going to head up to Woodbine tomorrow night and Saturday. Saturday's the opener at Woodbine. So I think I'll.
Did they fix that all up? Is it all done, the construction?
I haven't been there in a while, so I don't know. But I'm going to check out the poker room tomorrow night, Friday night, and then Saturday I'll be at the horse track. Let's review all action here for Friday. For Friday, for me, I'm going to be on the first period under 1.5 and the full game under 5.5 Rangers Capitals, and I'm going to wait. People, they're betting the overs. Go bet them, not us. Unless you have conviction on your angle, I'm not telling you how to bet things. And then Rangers -1. I've talked myself into Rangers -1. And then Nashville, I'm going to move on Nashville again. I just think there's money to be made with the squad, and I'm going to keep making it. I'm not just going to sit on my division bet. I don't think I'm compounding losses. Winnipeg Jets, Colorado Avalanche is very, very difficult. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's just Avalanche team total over and the over. And then Oilers Kings. I don't know why the Kings aren't kind of playing a much tighter game. I'm waiting to see it from them, and I haven't. I can understand Mikey Money thinking that was a wonderful opportunity for us, the Kings getting a couple bounces and beating the Oilers, because now he can get the Oilers at a cheap price in Game 3. I think that all makes sense. Gogster, please review your action for Friday, April 26th.
Yeah, for Friday there, Jim, I might end up firing on the Rangers here. I do kind of like that angle, guys. But I am going to fire on the Nashville team total over 2.5 here with DeSmith and net in the money line at +105. And then I'm also taking the Oilers and the Kings first period, both teams to score +155 for Friday's
And
action.
that Preds team total over is very interesting that you're on. I'm going to put some asterisks beside.
I tied it in with the money line there. So like a same game parlay there, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
All together, but yeah, I think the money line was only -120 on the Nashville team total over 2.5.
I like it, and I like what we're doing here with the Thursdays with less baseball games to do both Thursday and Friday, and then Friday tomorrow with Bobano doing Friday and Saturday. Excellent work, Mr. Gogster. Please follow our man, Mr. Gogster, at Gogster99 on X. Gogster, get that cash, my friend. Thank you for all your time, energy, and hard work. Any last words for the Capper supporting the show?
Oh, yeah, good seeing you guys as always there. You know, your old Canadian uncle here, Mr. Gogster, tuning in here. Steve G, everyone, Billy, Kelly, Old E. You know, I hope to be on the horse stream there for you, Jim. I'd love to jump on with you guys there. So I'll see you guys again there, you know, in the later weeks here. But until then, guys, you get that cash. Enjoy the hockey tonight. It's going to be some good games. Should be some lower ones tonight, more higher scoring games tomorrow. So till then, be good. Jet, too. They're Philly, Eagle, everybody. Get that cash, guys. Enjoy the games tonight. And golf action, guys. I got some golf stuff, as always. Zurich Classic actually looking pretty good. I got the leader right now, Jim. So knock on wood. Corey Connors and Pendrith are looking pretty damn good right now. Yeah, a couple Canadians. Yeah, so
nice.
Hopefully they can come through. But you guys be good. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
There he is, Mr. Gogster. We go from excitement on ice to excitement on the diamond. We're full of afternoon action here today. My co-host for MLB and the star of baseball programming here on Pub Sports Radio continues to climb, now less than a unit away from double-digit units up to start the year. And it is very important to all of us for him to succeed, for myself to succeed, and for us all to succeed. The weight of the analytics in baseball can weigh you down. And as we get further into the year, the analytics take on more importance as the sample size is legitimate and can be very, very helpful. Sometimes I think early in the season it can hurt you. Please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101, best bar in San Antonio and Pub Sports Radio. Please welcome Mr. Jose Bouquett to the program. Jose, how are you, my friend?
Pretty good, Jimmy. I got lucky as fuck yesterday. We'll take the luck as it comes. It was a slight winning day. Can't complain. How are you?
I am good. The taint play of the day is in Phillies first 5 minus half minus 120. See, I knew that this line made no sense, and I knew it was a mistake. Do you know that I wish I took a picture of it. The difference between the first 5 and the full game was 30 cents at Bet 365. 30 cents on the other way. So it was way more expensive to have the Phillies full game than first 5 with Zach Wheeler. I had to take advantage of it, and it was legit. Yeah. It's not like a mistake by the book because the other books had similar numbers. So I got that taint play today, first 5 minus half at even money at 365 because Pinnacle was down under maintenance, and then when it was done maintenance, I looked and it was plus 105 there. So there's been a big move there. And Joe Yergich says Phillies first 5 is too easy. I am scared. Look, that went through my mind as well. But you know, it wasn't overwhelming support for the Phillies, and the Reds have been playing good baseball. But you're right, that did go through my mind. There's Trisha in the house. Great to see you, Trisha. Welcome to the show. Okay, let's get to work. Chase says, "Is anyone here on the Pirates? Just curious. I have bet this first game." But let's do a quick review. Why don't we close? Why don't you just quickly let us know, and I should do too, because the transparency in the show is so important. For me yesterday, 4-3 plus 0.57 units. Cash Cardinals in Arizona, St. Louis under 8 with you guys. My Mets action got voided. It would have made a little bit of money, but it all got voided. Orioles -1 was a push. That was really disappointing. I mean, I just know that Beak is going to be out there in the playoffs and going to cost people a lot of money. I just know it. Like how many years has he cost? But whatever. Brewers cashed. Shout out to Kent Davies. He had $1,000 on the Brewers, which helped give me confidence to bet it. Chicago White Sox, Minnesota, first 5 under 3.5 was horrific. Mikey Money said these totals that go down to 3.5 have all been going over, and I still did it. Then Blue Jays was a loss, very disappointing. The under 8.5 was a cash in the Toronto Kansas City game, and then Rockies first 5 was a loss, but I did get the plus 4.5 with a full unit after that top half of the inning. So although my record won't show it, financially it was okay. So that was me, 4-3 plus 0.57 units. You, Jose, how was your day?
I went 6-3 up 1.22. The big thing that really swung my day was getting lucky. I made the Snell bets, and my book didn't void them until after the game was over. So I thought they weren't going to get voided. I was sweating it out the whole time. I thought I was going to cash for a long time. And then Lindor hits a 2-run home run in the 9th inning. And I was like, well, there goes that. So that was great. But yeah, I got lucky. That bet got voided, and that left me with just the Yankees, which was awesome, I guess. They won. I just got like a third of a unit or whatever it was for that. And then I had the cash cow plus parlay just turned into a cash cow parlay of Troy's 2 cash cow plays. They cashed. The Braves was a little sweaty at the end, but that cashed as well. I've decided I just need to stop doubling up on these fucking games that have these weird line movements and just take full game. Because I cash Cardinals and Reds full game money lines and lose the first 5s there, which was incredibly annoying. We lose the under in the Twins White Sox game, which was just hilarious to see. That was such a stupid line, I guess. I don't know what that was. That was just annoying to see. And then we cast the under in the Royals Blue Jays games, which is nice. But today's an interesting day, and I will say, Jim, I have no action coming into the card so far. But I think today will officially break my streak here. And I've leaned towards them 3 times this year, and they've won every time I've leaned towards them. So we'll talk about the game after this one, and hopefully, I think so. We'll see. It'll be fun.
It will be fun. It will be fun. I look forward to it. And I have bet the first game here. So let's get to work. This game pops off in 25 minutes. We're going to have the opportunity to live bet it as the show goes on. So please, those of you watching it, keep us informed as how to handle it. 51 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 2.9 miles per hour left to right, slightly out. Then it becomes slightly in. The weather is a non-issue. It is chilly. Get into the line history and the cash flow for this one. We'll have all this set up, so we'll be moving much quicker. Here, I was just shutting pages down. Still got another 35 to go. We have Helen Mitch Keller on the bump. If you could show us Helen Mitch Keller to bring us excitement. There she is. Hear no evil, see no evil, win no baseball games. Helen Mitch Keller and the Pittsburgh Pirates have gone from plus 107 to plus 125. Just a monstrous move to the Milwaukee Brewers, minus 117 to minus 136. Something that we saw yesterday, and we were able to cash. Now, it wasn't that easy. It was a 3-2 winner, but cash is cash. And our guy Kent Davies picked up a K. On the total here, we're dealing with a 7 minus 119 to the under. This opened up at 7.5. To move to 7 right away. Now, I got the first 5 under 4 this morning. I was surprised. I was sure it was going to be a 3.5. It was not. It was a 4 at minus 120. It was a 4 at minus like 120. That was at 365. It was 4 minus like 122 at Pinnacle. Anytime that happens, I hammer the 365 right away because I feel like they're just a little slow. Now it's 3.5 at almost a pick 'em. So it's so important to have that 4 as a push. It truly is. And Billy Friedrich on the other side, he's on the first 5 over 3.5. We have Freddie Peralta going up against Mitch Keller here. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 69% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, it's line moving just so quickly towards them. Then we have just 38% of the tickets on the under and 52% of the cash. That was similar numbers early this morning, and I really believed that was the sharp side. It scares me to see Billy Friedrich on the over. Trisha says MLB is great, but never lose sight on the ponies. Keeneland early pick 5 paid $250,000. Late one paid $50K yesterday. Wow, Trish. And we have a huge weekend next week. So Friday on Razor Sharp Picks channel, and Saturday right here on Pub Sports Radio. Freddie Peralta on the hill here, 2-0, 1.90 ERA, 0.76 whip, 33 Ks in 23 2/3, 33 Ks, 4 walks, 2 home runs. You know, if it wasn't for Jose Barrios, Peralta would probably have the best start of any pitcher in the league thus far. Barrios has not allowed to run his last 3 starts. He's pitching today. The last start for Freddie, he went 6 innings, 4 hits, 7 Ks, 2 walks, and 2-1 extra inning win at the Cardinals. And then Mitch Keller coming off a 4-2 loss at home versus Red Sox. He didn't look very good. 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 4 Ks, 4 walks. The Brewers are smashing righties, and the Pirates aren't hitting them. Brewers versus righties, 273, 782 OPS. Pirates versus righties, 234, 653 OPS. And then finally, from a bullpen standpoint, the Brewers bullpen's been very good. 2.85 ERA. They've converted just 9 of 13, but that's sort of a league-wide pandemic right now. 1.07 whip and a 201 opponent's batting average for the Milwaukee Brewers. The Pittsburgh Pirates bullpen's been okay. 4.03 ERA, but the back ends failed time and time again. We've watched it. 8 of 15 converted saves, but 15 save opportunities right now. Only the New York Yankees have more save opportunities, and the Rays are tied. So the Pirates are playing good ball and deserve to have a better record than they have right now. They have a 1.23 whip and 207 opponent's batting average. Take it away for us here, Jose. Game 1 pops off in 21 minutes. Brewers Pirates.
Yeah, I've been back and forth on this game. Well, not really. I wanted to bet the Brewers in this game, but I wanted everything to line up as one James the Bag would tell me. And it's a little bit, too public for me. And again, I know I'll see Troy in the chat saying that the public cash is blah, 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 blah. But 69% of the bets, 89% of the money, 10 cents of movement. Well, we shouldn't say 10 cents. Jimmy, how much did you have on Pinnacle again there?
The line movement on... Oh, shoot. I've got give me
Bet Online has 11 cents from opened up at minus 125.
I think it was 19, but let me pull it up again.
See, so that's interesting there. It went down to minus 115 at one point, which is interesting. But I mean, the obvious spot for me is definitely Freddie Peralta here to keep his streak going here. He's been pitching well all year. The Brewers are undefeated when he's on the mound here as well. But yeah, I probably will stay off here. Troy Torrence saying home dogs between plus 105 and plus 125 with a 60% bets on the road team. The road team is 46-6 last 2 seasons. This season, they're 14-3 and 7-1 when the total closes under 8. So, like I said, it's definitely a Brewers spot here. It seems like I'm just going to choose to stay off of this Brewers cash.
Are we leaving money on the table by choosing to stay off?
It seems like I am, just based off Troy's comments. I mean, again, he's talked about how these short home dogs have not been successful all year. Last 2 seasons, like he's saying there, 46-6 is an astounding record. Yeah, so it's definitely Brewers are pass for me. And I felt
46-16, 46-16, but still monstrous.
Okay. Still, yeah, very good. So, yeah, I mean... I think if the Brewers are the spot here, I'm just choosing to leave money on the table, it seems. I'm trying to take it a little lower volume day. We have how much time? We have 45-ish minutes until this game starts. I guess
we have 19 minutes. 19 minutes.
Oh my God, these fucking time zones are fucking me up. All right, well, let's talk about the next few games, and I'll let you guys know here in the next few minutes if I'm betting the Brewers. And perhaps if the Pirates score first, I'll bet the Brewers there, but we'll see.
God, I wonder if I should just pull the trigger. What would I have? I wanted to see if I hadn't have. I mean, I just what concerned me. Mitch Keller is capable of pitching well here, right? And some of these Pirates have got to Peralta. What could I have got if I had done this? I could have got minus 121 if I had done it this morning. Now it's minus 136, which would cause me to make a move on the -1 line. Huh. I mean, Peralta's been spectacular. Keller has not been that good.
Yeah, and I think you have a bullpen advantage, and I think the Brewers lineup is better. So I guess I think the Brewers win this game. It's just I have to bet minus 137 now. So
Oh yeah,
And
Steve,
yes,
we
Steve,
rocked
I
it.
guess you met.
We
You
w-
met. Yeah, G.
we
Come
missed
on.
it.
Come
We
on.
rocked it. We had Ellen Keller up there.
G, all you have to do is ask, buddy. You don't have to say that. If you want to see her again, we'll show you as many times as you want, Steve. I got you.
Well. I wonder if I'm just leaving money on the table here. Okay. I'm gonna have to make this decision quick. I'm gonna have to take them on the -1 line. Okay, let's roll on. Next up for us, 1:10 p.m. Eastern, we have the Boston Red Sox 14-11, 11-4 on the road at the Cleveland Guardians 17-7, 7-4 at home. I don't know if I updated that record, but Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Let's get into the line history here for this one, and of course the weather and all the pertinent information. First off, weather-wise, we have 49 Fahrenheit, 8.4 miles per hour right to left and slightly in, and then it becomes fully in, and it gets stronger, 10.4, 11.8 by the end of the game. So kind of pitchers weather. Then we have Tristan McKenzie and Chase Anderson. Chase has not been going deep, obviously. Chase is a touch and go pitcher. This line has moved 9 cents towards the under. Open up under 7.5 -104. It's now under 7.5 -113. And when we get to the money line here, we have Tristan McKenzie and the Guardians at -122. They open up at -154. Wow. 32 cents away. Wow. Chase Anderson has looked really good this year because they're deathly afraid of having him out there for too long. He's only allowed to see batters one time in his last appearance. I don't think it was a start. I think it was appearance. 2 innings, 6-1
Yeah,
win.
this is his first start. He's been a reliever all year.
And then Tristan McKenzie, I mean, you watched that start very closely and closer than I did. It was an afternoon start, and I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, it was frustrating as hell.
But we know that he's got an elbow issue that he's going to play through, and he looked vulnerable early and then started pitching very well. 5 innings, 1 earned run, solo shot, 6 Ks, 3 walks, and that 10-2 win at home. Red Sox are not hitting righties at all, 237, 719, but they're hitting them harder than the Guardians, who have the same average, but their OPS is 682. It's ugly. As always, this Guardians bullpen is so good. 2.24 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 197 opponent's batting average. Boston Red Sox, 11th in Major League Baseball right now, bullpen-wise, 3.62 ERA, 1.26 WHIP, 241 opponent's batting average. And the wind is blowing in pretty heavy, Chris. Yeah, and Troy Torrance's database has massive splits in this market based on total. If the total is less than 9, home team 86%. If it's 9 or higher, road team is 89%. Jesus, that's nuts. And it's a bullpen day, so Jose can kind of let us know whom he expects to be on the bump. Take it away for us here at Red Sox Guardians.
I'm doing it, Jimmy. For the first time this baseball season, I am betting on the Boston Red Sox here. Full game money line for me. It's plummeted. And this just is one of those spots where it lines up again here, Jimmy. I think the Red Sox have been playing really well. And the best part about, those numbers now, they're low, but it's Rafael Devers is back in the lineup. O'Neal's back in the lineup. That's good. The outfield has been hitting so well that Masataka Yoshida has not been able to get back in the lineup. Now, when Devers goes back to third base and feels good, he'll be back in DH. But still, it's been very frustrating for like Masataka Yoshida guy. But I think McKenzie is, he's not 100% like you mentioned. And when I was watching him, it looked like he just couldn't throw his like fastballs or slot or whatever curveballs low. And I was like, I wonder if he just like physically just can't snap his elbow as much as he wants on those and his torn ligament, and it just can't locate down. And I was watching him and he got through the outing, but like it felt like it was more the Oakland A's bats being bad than Tristan McKenzie being good. So I'm on the Boston Red Sox here, full game money line. I wanted to see how long I could go without betting the Red Sox, and it's been quite a while, and I have been spot on with some leans on them recently. Like I said, I think the last 3 or 4 times I said I was close to betting the Red Sox, they've cashed. I didn't bet on them, and today was just one of those days where I was like, okay, this isn't just me being, fan bias asshole here today. I think the Red Sox win this game, but more importantly, the market seems to agree as well. 80% of the bets, 74% of the money on the Guardians there. And like you've mentioned, I had this line opening up at minus 155 and it's just kept plummeting down now to minus 125 for the Guardians here. So I will gladly take the Red Sox here in a bullpen game. The bullpen is pretty rested here as well. Let me see here. Let me remind myself. Justin Slayton, good. He's going to pitch. Greg Weisert's good. He's going to pitch. Kenley will probably come out. Chris Martin will probably pitch. And then the only person that I'm scared of pitching today is Joely Rodriguez, who admittedly sucks a little balls. So I will be on the Red Sox here. Now, obviously, Chase Anderson's a bit of a wild card. And I've underrated the Guardians offense fucking all year. And this cost me so much money. So I'm going to hope that he can get out of this. He went 1 inning against the Guardians, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. Not a good outing there. Hopefully he can figure his shit out from there. But I also lean over in this game as well, just in case, Chase Anderson can't keep his shit together. I definitely think that this is an over kind of ball game. So Red Sox for me, full game money line. I got it at plus 114.
I just betted at that number as well. So, and I took the Brewers on the -1 line, and I understand what Morgan Spooner is saying and how he feels about the spot.
Jesus, did you just see? Apparently, Mally Mouse saying the Brewers total went down to 6.5.
It did, yeah. At some spots, yeah. It's very good.
Fuck, that's crazy.
Very pleased to get I got the 4 first 5 and only -120, and that was at Bet 365, which is not a kind, not a kind book. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this out on Twitter now here in a second, but the bets are in.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
I'm with
Top
you.
said I almost decided to do a double up there, Top set with the team total, but I just said like earlier in the show, like I was trying not to double up here. I'll just take the money lines and be okay with that. But yes, if I was doubling up in this game, it'd be Red Sox money line and Red Sox team total.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with just having one bet on it. Let's roll on. Jose making his first bet on the Boston Red Sox this year, and I'm on it with him. We'll see how it bangs out. 1:10 p.m. Eastern with the Chicago White Sox 3-21, 1-12 on the road. Billy Friedrich says White Sox last in MLB in the following categories: runs, run differential, homers, batting average, slugging, on base percentage, and they're second to last in team ERA to the Rockies. We have Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota for this one. Again, I think we can take advantage of Minnesota's weak numbers offensively because they're better than that, and they're showing it now. But we do have to figure out Simeon Woods Richardson here in this start.
First I had Bailey Ober last night. I capped Bailey Ober, which was interesting. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I did cap this with Simeon. That's the big market move. Twinkies were -241 with Ober. They're -185 with Simeon Richardson. So I don't think we need to get too caught up in that being, some, ludicrously huge move. It's just a pitcher-related move. So, and then from a total side of things, we have an 8 at -113. It was 7.5, with Ober. It's 8 here with Simeon. So let's talk about the weather, and then let's get right into Simeon, our thoughts on him. Weather-wise here, we have 61 Fahrenheit. It's a little warmer in Minnesota. 15 miles per hour right to left. 16.5. It's slightly in. And then the question is, what do we expect from Simeon Woods Richardson? So this kid, 23 years old, second round pick in the 2018 draft out of the New York Mets out of high school in Sugar Land, Texas. He, for St. Paul in AAA, had 3 starts this year, 13 1/3, allowed 16 hits, 9 earned runs, struck out 12, walked 5. Didn't look very good. And he didn't look very good in 2023. He made his MLB debut in 2022 as a 21-year-old. And he looked pretty good in that start. 5 innings, struck out 3, walked 2. Last year, he didn't get to start, but he came in long relief. I don't know what Simeon Woods Richardson's going to do. We have Kong's Clips. We didn't skip it. If you guys want to look at the schedule, just hit the description anytime you guys want. Also, if you want to copy and paste the description, I put it there every morning so you guys can copy and paste it on your worksheet and I've set it all up for you, the order and everything. White Sox versus righties 192, 565 OPS. Twins versus righties 206, 565 OPS. I'm sorry, 206, 638 OPS. Soroka on the other side. Soroka is, not good. 7.50 ERA, 1.79 WHIP. He's 12 strikeouts and 15 walks. Start the year 5 jacks. I mean, it looks awful. Coming off a 9-5 loss to the Phillies, 4 2/3, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 Ks, 3 walks. I mean, obviously this is a much easier lineup for him to face, but and then I
Is it though?
I mean,
because we think they're going to bounce back with the shitty numbers.
No, you're right. That's absolutely true. 94% of tickets, 93% of cash on the Minnesota Twins. On the total, 80% of tickets, 76% cash on the over. Billy Friedrich says, it's all good, Conks, my man. Billy Friedrich says, look at the Sox starting line of three starters hitting over 246. Take it away, Jose. I don't really know. I mean, do we just trust Simeon, Woods, Richardson to shut down this terrible lineup?
Yeah, I probably would, but I'm staying off. Too juiced. Total. I can't trust the White Sox to add to the total. So I had nothing on this game. I'll say that. Bailey Ober was more interesting because this would probably have been a cash cow spot, and you can throw it a parlay. But Troy said it was almost cash cow, so no action for me here. I will say that the White Sox, Mike Soroka is the exact guy the White Sox should be throwing, though. Just fucking let him go out there and let him throw as much as he can. Just let him figure it out and see if you can find that talent that's once was. Like, he hasn't pitched in like 3 years, so let him suck. And at the end of the year, hopefully at the end of this shitty year, maybe he'll show you some signs for next year. But yeah, no action for me here.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable.
And maybe in Con's Clips, that's a good name for this, the Cash Calf play of the day. Cash Calf.
That is a good name. Vibe says Soroka get torched. Yeah, I don't want to bet on Simeon Woods Richardson. I don't want to bet. There's just a couple of, I'm not sure what he's going to do. I imagine he can shut down this team.
Yeah, and his first start with the Tigers, I guess the Tigers have a better offense than the White Sox, but it's nothing to be really hanging your hat on.
6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, 1 walk. In that first start, he looked really, really good. Thank you I don't know how I didn't bring that up. I've got it right here with the asterisk. He looked really, really good. So can we just trust he's going to keep that going? I mean, it was a road start. Now he comes home. I
can't. Yeah, probably, but I can't, and not at a minus 200 price.
Mikey Money says Big Dogs are 0-32 straight up, 9-23 on the run line if their next starter lost his last start versus this opponent. I wonder if I'm leaving money on the table. Let's move on.
What would you bet here?
Well, I mean, what would the price be on the -1 line? Let me just check it here. It'd be.
I'm assuming it's like minus 130 at least. Probably super
minus
juiced.
147. Yeah, it's too expensive. I'm okay. Let's roll on. Next up, we have Philadelphia Phillies at Cincinnati Reds. Phillies 15-10, 5-4 on the road. Reds 14-10, 9-6 at home. Your Philadelphia Phillies right now are Jose Bouquet's choice to win the World Series. We have the taint play of the day. We also have best bet time from our Daby Cab. So let's bring him on. Star of Medicate Mondays here on Pub Sports Radio and delivering best bets Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays here on Betting with the Bag. Please welcome from Dallas, Texas, the aforementioned Dabra Cadabra, the Magic Man. How are you?
Oh, I'm here. I'm here. We got to win, man. We got to win, but I'm here.
Well, let's get to work here, my friend, and we'll get you off first because it's a best bet. But let's also shout out our guy Matty Ice. Taint play of the day is in, and it is the Philadelphia Phillies first 5 -1/2. Is this too easy? Because this was one of the spots where I was like, okay, if we're going to talk about,
obvious plays,
low-hanging fruit that doesn't have 90% of the count. Now, I haven't looked at it in a few hours. Well, this was it. And we'll see how it bangs out. Philadelphia Phillies first 5 -1/2 from our Matty Ice. So now I know what Cab thinks of Nick Martinez, and that got into my cap. So I'm not, Zach Wheeler coming off that start where, he had the no hitter going into the 8th, I believe. And I'm not sitting here saying that he's going to have a better start here. And Lee Davis on the Reds here at plus 159. Eric Rosas on the Reds team total over 3.5. I shouldn't even say better start. Obviously, he's going to regress a little from that great start. And this isn't where I want to back Zach Wheeler after a spectacular start, at home against the worst offensive team in the league, the Chicago White Sox. But do we trust Nick Martinez? And I know Daby Cab does not, and we'll hear his thought process as to why. Martinez, 4.76 ERA, 1.24 whip. Thank you for the kind words, Josh, my guy. It's us as a team working together, and that's why we're succeeding. And Martinez has 14 strikeouts and 2 outs. He's looked okay this year. He's looked pretty good. He's looked better than I expected him to look, but it's still not enough for him to lock down a starting spot with this squad. His last start was April 6th. His last appearance was April 20th. He went 3 innings in the last appearance. 2 hits, no runs, 2 Ks, no walks, 7-5 win at home versus Angels. He looked good. His last start, April 6th, 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, no homer, 6 Ks, 1 walk, 9-6 win at home versus the Mets. Now he's at home against a team that's not hitting righties hard in the Philadelphia Phillies, 232, 681 OPS. Rodney Barton on Reds first 5 plus a half. And Ross Pitt says Zach Wheeler has revenge on the Cincinnati Reds. He lost to them earlier this year, and he pitched well in that start. The Reds aren't hitting righties either. Let's go into the weather here and the plan of attack. For the weather, we have 54 Fahrenheit, 7.9 miles per hour in, stays between 7.9 and 6.1 for the duration of the ball game. Let's get into the line history here. On the total, we are sitting here with an 8 minus 109 to the under. This opened up at 8.5, and it went down to 7.5 for a while. It's gone down to 7.5 twice and then come back up to 8. When we get over to the money line, we're sitting here with Wheeler and the Phillies at minus 183. They opened up, and now minus 182. They opened up at minus 157. Just a massive move towards them. And again, that first 5 at Bet365 was minus 135. And I guess at that price, I probably should have taken. I was trying to figure. I knew there was a mistake, and I also wanted to get it in as soon as possible because of the mistake. And it's not a mistake. It's not like they did. It wasn't a screw up because Pinnacle had it around that line too. I don't understand. I mean, maybe because they're going to lose the first 5 innings. Maybe that's it. I made 2 bets here in this one. I took the first 3 minus a half at plus 130, and I took the first 5 minus a half at plus 100. My option was to take the first 3 money line at minus 145 and take the first 5 money line at minus 135, and I couldn't do it. There's our guy Guillermo Zertucci in the house. I couldn't do that. I just couldn't pay that kind of vig. Let's get to the cash flow here for this one. You have 85% of the tickets and 83% of cash on the over. It's funny that it went all the way down to 7.5. And then you have 78% of tickets and 81% of cash on the Phillies. I'm comfortable with all this. And Eric Rosas says fade Wheeler Day. I guess I'm as I said, I am comfortable with all of this, and I imagine that Matty Ice being on the taint play today, and what Daby Cab does is just going to give me more confidence. I imagine until we hear what Jose's plan is. Take it away for us here, Daby Cab. Phillies Reds best bet number 1.
Yeah, you went over Martinez a bit. My opinion of him still stands. I think he's the worst starting pitcher in Major League Baseball, honestly. Like, if you ask me, pick one person who should not be starting, it's Nick Martinez. I mean, his stuff is the definition of subpar. I mean, I'll give him credit for one thing. He's had control this season. He's only got 2 walks. That's outstanding. But he still has a 1.24 whip, which might not sound that bad, but considering you only have 2 walks, I mean, shit, that means you're giving up more than a hit every single inning. I mean, that's not something to be proud of, 4.76 ERA, not so bad, I guess you can say, but you look at what he needed that 3 innings out of the bullpen that he had. Because you look at it as a starter, he's got a 7.2 ERA with the 1.6 whip. So as a starter, his numbers are a little bit different. Then coming out of the bullpen, maybe you use him as long relief. He just should not be a starter in the major leagues. That's all I'm getting at. And then Wheeler on the other side, I know he's 1-3 on the season, but God, he's pitched damn damn good, man. He's got like a .86 whip right now. Last time he pitched against these Reds, he had 10 strikeouts. So obviously, he only gave up 1 earned run. I know they got 3 runs there, but it was because of the errors. Only 1 earned run with 10 strikeouts against the Reds last time. Just absolutely dealed. I'm on the Phillies here, first 5 with you guys, but I also took their team total over 4.5. That's -103. I took the team total for the reason that I've been talking about here. It's Martinez. I understand the Phillies numbers aren't the best against him. I don't give a shit. Everything regresses to the norm in baseball. Give me a 4.5 against Nick Martinez with the Marlins, and I'm still going to fucking bet it. So I'll leave it at that.
4.5. So that's the only thing that you're on right now. So you're not backing the Phillies first 5. You're just on the team total.
No, I'm on both. I'm on the first 5 run line, and then I'm on the team total over 4.5.
Did you tweet out the first 5 run line?
I did not.
Okay.
So
we'll get it for you here.
I got -115, but I'm not sure if that's still available.
Let's find out. I'll be line shopping while I line shop. We're often racing here in Pittsburgh as well. So whoever's watching that, keep us a titty of the situation so that
Please,
we'll be able to move live, because I'm going to try hard not to watch it. Take it away, Jose, while I line shop for Daby Cab. Your thoughts on this spot?
Yeah, especially if Pittsburgh scores first, let us know, please and thanks. Yeah, I might have to throw some cold water on this, and not for the fact that I'm backing the Reds here. I think that Nick Martinez could end up pitching kind of well in this game. And the issue here is, Jimmy, I heard you say this went to 7.5 a couple of times as well. I had this pop down to 7.5 for a second as well. But I have 85. Oh, there we go. 85% of the bets, 83% of the money on the over in this game. And like I said, I had this game opening up at
1-0 Milwaukee.
Oh, that's fast. There we go. They had this game opening up at an 8.5, and it dropped down to 8 immediately. On other sites, this opened up juiced at 8 to the over, and it's flipped to juice to the under now. I think I'm just going to roll with a full game under here, and thinking that both these guys can pitch pretty decently. Now, I don't believe I need to check RotoWire's lineups right now, because I'd love to see we have confirmed lineups. We do. Harper is back in the lineup, so that'll definitely help those who are backing the Phillies here. But I did check the bullpens. Both of them are pretty rested here. Like Alvarado hasn't pitched in fucking like 5 days. So, and Alexis Diaz will probably pitch here as well. So under full game will be my play in this game.
Full game under for Jose.
Yeah, -115.
Even with that early, okay. Even what's that, 8?
Yeah.
Even with that first run coming in, it's the total in that Brewers Pirates game is just 7.5, so it hasn't changed much. BJ says Reds might be a good plus money spot. He cashed on them yesterday. He says Wheeler, one of the best pitchers in baseball. Problem is he doesn't get any run support. He got enough against the White Sox. I can understand Joe Yurkovich looking for the race to 4. I can understand here. I can truly understand. Okay, if there's no such thing as low-hanging fruit, then this doesn't cash, and I'll just stop with it. Stop thinking that there's some spots that are just, you got to just smash. So it'll be a learning lesson.
All I'm going to say is, if you take this situation, it might not cash today, but if you take this situation throughout an entire baseball season, I promise you it'll cash more than 50% of the time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I also wonder if I should have eaten the juice in this spot. That was my dilemma, because I knew -135 was probably a great price for first 5. But do I want a -145, -130? It was tricky. But we're locked in. A lot of action. We have a lot of action. We have some people on the other side with the Reds. We are not on it. Taint play today's Phillies first 5 -0.5. I'm on the Phillies first 3 -0.5 +130, and the first 5 -0.5 +100. Cabby is on the Phillies team total over 4.5 -103, and the first 5 -0.5 at -110. It was available at my bookie. And Jose is on the full game under 8. So we're heavily invested in this one. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board here. And stay with us, Cab, because there's just one game in between your next spot. 2:10 p.m. Eastern, we have the Toronto Blue Jays 13-12, 7-9 on the road. The Kansas City Royals 50-10, 11-5 at home. We're at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Let's get into the weather here. Light rain and rain throughout. So I wonder if RotoWire thinks this game will go. And I imagine the answer is no, which will make things easier because I thought this was a little trickier than it looked. Let's just quickly see if RotoWire thinks this game is on, and they don't. 76%. So this game likely doesn't go. I wonder if everybody in the chat saying that as well, expecting this game to not go. And Mikey Money says KC off of Nerfy now 12-5. We're in the middle of the first inning. Thank you for the heads up there. We got Perky in the house, JPZ ready to get to work. Great to see all you guys. So this game probably doesn't go. Jose Barrios is the best pitcher in Major League Baseball right now. I don't know how long that will last. Maybe up until tomorrow when this game's rescheduled. 0.85 ERA. The Jays won all of his starts. He's 4-0. 1.01 whip. 27 Ks, 9 walks. So he's not doing anything out of the ordinary. He's allowed 2 jacks over 31 1/3. His last start was his 3rd straight scoreless start. 6 innings, 5 hits, no run, 6 Ks, 2 walks, and a 5-2 win at the Padres. Cole Ragans got lit up and smoked by the Baltimore Orioles last start. I honestly know he's got talent, but I don't think he's the pitcher we saw the second half of the year with the Royals. I don't think he's the pitcher we saw in the first half of the year with the Rangers. I think he's somewhere in between. And I'm not entirely sure how to handle him as we move forward. Royals are hitting 238, 717 OPS versus righties there. They've come completely back to earth. They're exactly who we thought they were going to be. They're not some great baseball team or anything like that. And then lefties, the Blue Jays have been smashing them, 260, 772 OPS. It's the only thing they've been smashing. Morgan Spooner says he loved the Royals in this spot, and you're going to get the opportunity to hammer it again tomorrow, I imagine. When it comes down, if this game was to go, then it would be all, a huge, a heavy bullpen situation. And, the Jays bullpen, I think, is better than Royals bullpen, even though the stats won't tell you that at this point. This total is at 7.5. It's minus 112 to the under. This opened up at 8. This got to, no, it never got 7. Went 8, 7.5, 8, 7. Oh, no, it did get to 7. It did get 7 for a little bit this morning. So, and then from a money line standpoint here, I got the first 5 up. Sorry, let me just quickly go to full game. From a money line standpoint, this will help us for if it does move to tomorrow. We'll be pretty much ready to go. The Royals opened up at minus 116. They're now minus 101. The Jays have gone from dog to favorite, plus 107 to minus 107. That's a big, big, big move there. And when we get into the cash flow, you have 34% of tickets and 90% of the cash on the Toronto Blue Jays. And you have 35% of tickets, 40% cash on the under, even though it's moving in that direction. So here we go. Jose, your thoughts, and then we'll hear what Daby Cab thinks about this spot at Kauffman Stadium. Take it away, Jose. Jays, Royals.
Yeah, I thought this was a weird line to see Barrios as a dog to start with, honestly. And now that he's the favorite, it makes sense. I'm not moving on this game, but obviously for me, it's Blue Jays. I just thought they were a better team. Barrios pitching hot. It's scary to jump on Barrios after 3 straight scoreless starts.
Yeah,
for sure. But that would be my side here if I had to play it, but no action for me in this game.
Yeah, I wonder if, well, let's hear what Cabby thinks about the idea of betting a pitcher after 3 straight scoreless starts, if that's a danger spot. And the Royals bullpen has been so good this year. Is that who they are? I find it difficult to leave. Right now, ranked 9th in the league, 3.31 ERA, 1.38 WHIP though. WHIP is bottom 10. And 245 points batting average. But they have converted 8 of 10 save opportunities. Daby Cab, what do you think of backing Barrios here? What are your thoughts on Cole Ragans? What are your thoughts overall, Taylor?
So I'll keep it simple, but we've had this conversation, but for people that didn't hear it, it's always good to have it again. I wouldn't bet this no matter who's pitching because of the weather, Jimmy. I don't like getting involved in a game when a pitcher might have to have a delay in a start or something like that. If there's a chance in that happening, we have 162 days worth of baseball games with 15 baseball games a day. Getting involved in a game where there might be a delay with the starting pitcher is just something I'm not interested in. Now, maybe if I was looking at a different angle, like a team total or something, maybe, but I'm not doing that here. But I would be remiss, I don't mean to pour it on your Blue Jays here, but we're talking about how good Kansas City's bullpen is, you can't say that without talking about how bad the Blue Jays bullpen has been. They're 26 right now with the 5.0 ERA in baseball. So it's kind of just a tale of two cities here with these two bullpens, right?
I don't think so. We were talking about a team that didn't have their closer or setup man. So we got him back 5 days ago, 6 days ago. Romano got lit. Or sorry, Swanson got lit up right away. So I think that those numbers aren't. I mean, any team missing their closer and set their ninth inning and eighth inning guys. Now we had Jimmy Garcia step up, which was great for the bullpen. Nate Pearson's going in higher leverage situations. I do not think it's we look. Mitch White sucked. Had a double-digit ERA. We threw him away.
So you expect regression to the norm. I got you. Yeah,
definitely. I think this is a middling bullpen. In fact, I bet you they close like 13th or 14th in the league. But I don't know what to make of the Royals having such a good bullpen. I haven't quite figured that out. I don't think this game goes. I think we can, and with the weather and Doug saying plus Raggins will be looking to bounce back. So we'll be able to hammer this in the next game. Doug liking Raggins says he's solid. So we'll be able to hammer it tomorrow. I don't think anything. I don't think it goes. Jose, do you think this game goes?
Probably not.
Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 2:20 p.m. Eastern with the Houston Astros 7-18, 3-9 on the road. The Chicago Cubs 15-9, 9-3 home at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. This is best bet number 2 for Daby Cab. 48 Fahrenheit, 7.9 miles per hour right to left. Gets up to 10.1 miles per hour, and then it's in. And it's slightly in at first, but then it's in. But Philly Eagle Flyer says looks like the rain will blow through quickly. Jose, can you flip back to Jays Royals?
So if that rain blows through quickly, you might get exactly what I told you that I don't want a part of, which is a delay.
With them sitting there. What are your thoughts about backing pitchers had 3 straight scoreless starts in the fourth start?
Jose or me?
You.
I mean, after 2, I'd stay away from the third game, but after a third game, I'm a little more interested in that fourth, right? It's that third game where I'm like, okay, 2 in a row isn't really a thing. But after he's done it 3 times in a row, yeah, I mean, I'm not scared of it. He's pitching that good because he's feeling it. I mean, he is what he is right now. I say it's true. I mean, obviously, all numbers regress towards the norm in baseball. I keep saying that, but I think he's got his shit right now, early in this season.
Yeah, I do too, and I would like to back him. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll get a chance to hammer this appropriately. Oh, I guess we won't because it's getaway day. So this will just be a filled later in the year. Interesting.
Well, thank God bless for Cole Raggins because he's got the short end of the sticks with matchups this year. So he gets matched up with ace after ace after ace. I feel bad for the guy. Jesus.
Joe Yurgis says Barrios' track record says he will regress. And Nate Dogg wanting Barrios over strikeouts. It's a very dangerous thing to bet player props when there's rain issues. Very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. So, I'm not saying don't bet it, but just keep that in mind. Let's go back to Wrigley here. Astros, Cubs, Wrigley Field, Justin Verlander versus Javier Assad. This is going to be a real fun one. Verlander immediately looked locked in. Gotta love that. 7.9 miles per hour right to left, slightly in, gets up to 10.1.
Oh, wow. Pittsburgh up 3-1.
Fuck. Of course they are.
Wow.
Oh, shit. I thought you guys
live betting.
Hold on. What are you guys on?
Fuck,
they're on Brewers. But yeah, the Pirates just took the lead there.
Damn, I could have sworn you were frustrated when you saw that the Brewers were up 1-0. I guess I read that rumor.
I was frustrated because I wanted to bet them, to live bet them when they went down. I was hoping they would go down 1-0. So yeah, that's why. Cabby, I'm looking, Cabby. Don't you worry. But go ahead, Jimmy. Sorry.
Surprised that total's only at 9.5 right now. Brewers money line.
And by the way, again,
3.5 runs is not enough runs for 5 innings. I don't give a fuck.
6.5 total. It went down, and it's just crazy. God,
6.5 for a full game is completely different than 3.5 for the first 5. I'm telling you right now.
But that's
for
just
those
crazy,
games that are like that, and it was just like that with the Cubs and the Astros yesterday, right? Like the first 5 went over. They scored 6 runs, but that's all they got in the whole game was the 6 runs. 3.5 runs for 5 innings is not enough runs. I'm just gonna say that.
Jimmy, you're on full game, right?
I'm on Brewers full game, but I'm on the first 5 under 4, which I thought I'd stolen.
Okay. Yeah, I am now on the Brewers full game money line plus 209. We can make that official.
That's frustrating. That's not how I want to start out this fucking day. All right, Astros, Cubbies, and I also, because I can't just live betting under 9.5 right now. I can understand you moving on the Brewers. Okay, let's roll on to this Astros spot. So Justin Verlander looked excellent in his first start. He looked completely locked in. 6 innings, 4 hits allowed, 4 Ks, no walks. Did allow a jack. Looked excellent. Javier Assad coming off a good start. They do seem very worried about him seeing a lineup a third time. He went 4 2/3, 3 Ks, 3 walks, 3-2 loss at home versus the Marlins, the weak hitting Marlins, but he has consecutive home starts now. Astros are not hitting righties with any power. 260, 714 OPS. Cubs versus righties, 236, 707 OPS. Cubs bullpen 3.83 ERA, 1.33 WHIP. Opponents hitting 221 against them. And the Astros bullpen's been horrific, but looks a little better last week. 5.04 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. Opponents hitting 262 against them. Jason Work. No, we use Swish Analytics. Jason Work. Swish Analytics. So the wind blowing in, Rem, yes, between 7.9 and about 10.2. And then when we get into the line history for this spot, we have Assad and the Cubs right now at plus 124 at Pinnacle. They open up at plus 111. So we've had a 14-cent move to the Houston Astros from minus 120 to minus 134. And on the total side of things here, we're dealing with a 7.5 minus 112 to the under. This opened up at 8, went 7.5, got right back to 8, and now it's back at 7.5. And to put a bow on this, let's get the cash flow up here. From a cash flow perspective, we have 79% of tickets, 78% cash on the over, and we have 37% of tickets and 79% of the cash on the Chicago Cubs. 79% of cash on the Cubs, and this line's moving pretty briskly towards Justin Verlander and the Houston Astros. Daby Cab, best bet number 2. Take it away.
Well, it would be number 3 because I had 2 on the Phillies game. But I actually have not bet this one yet, Jimmy. I ended up staying off. Initially, I wanted to get behind Verlander, and I'll go into where and why I was. Then I started leaning towards the under just because Assad is not somebody that I feel like would be profitable betting against in the long run. And for baseball, I'm not looking for a spot to just be a one-day thing. I'm looking for it to be something that I can consistently get behind. Javier Assad, he's been outstanding with the 2.11 ERA, a 1.031 WHIP, 8 walks, 21 strikeouts. So again, we talk about like the WHIP. It's taking, like I talked about with Martinez, he's only got the 2 walks. Assad has 8 walks, but he's still got a 1.031 ERA. Hitters are not seeing the ball against him. And he did the same thing last year too. I think I keep expecting more of him. And this Houston team, when I talk about possibly getting behind Verlander, because it's early in the season, but first time he started, I thought it was a good spot to get behind him, even though it was his first start, simply because he's their ace and they suck right now, right? And sometimes when a team sucks, you get behind them when they got their ace on the mound, because it's like, hey, if there's a day we're gonna get a win, it's right fucking now. All right. And I think that's another spot where the Astros are at here with Verlander. So I lean towards the Astros and Verlander. I lean towards the under here, but I haven't pulled the trigger here. Cubs has just
specific. What was your specific bet that you were leaning to before this?
Astros first 5.
Okay. Just wanted to make that be known.
That is not, and it is 14-1 now.
Yeah, 14-1 now.
Yeah, I sent you that message this morning.
Wow.
It's moved to
look.
14.
I just want to say this too. When I talk about sticking with things, I know this is, I came in with a little bit shitty energy because I'm frustrated with yesterday. I had a first 5 over, and there was 3 runs in it. I needed 5. But if anybody who watched the game, things happening like when Wyatt Langford finally hits a ball hard to the alley, this dude's rounding second base, going for 3 and falls on his fucking face. And it's just like, when you see things like that, like that's not even error. That's the dude literally fell on his face just running for no reason and like got out in the middle of an inning where I know the Rangers would have put up more runs. And then I sent this to you, Jimmy, right here. Hold on, Jose. I'm going to show this. How the fuck is that not a home run or a double? And if you can't see it, It's 105 miles per hour with a 24-degree launch angle. That's what Seager did his third at bat. How the fuck is 9 out of 10 baseball fields? That's a home run. I'm going to just say that again. 9 out of 10. Hell, 9 out of 10 times on the Rangers baseball field, a 24-degree launch angle with 105 miles an hour is a home run. And it didn't get there. And it would have cashed both the bets. It is what it is. We're where we're at. The bad beats will stop happening. Everything will even out. I fucking promise.
Yeah, I agree.
Fall on your fucking face rounding second base. Come on, man.
Grandma's wearing her sister's panties again. Play today is Houston and the under 8.5 here. Jose, take it away for your plan with Verlander and Assad. Should we bet the Houston Astros here?
Yeah, I initially came here thinking that I wanted to bet Assad, truthfully, and then I gave a little refresh of my odds pages to see if anything changed, and the line is just running to Justin Verlander right now. Minus 137 at Bet Online when this opened up at minus 120, and only 21% of the money on them, 63% of the bets. Sure, but like still, that's crazy. So I stayed off. I probably would end up betting the Verlander led Astros here now. Obviously the line movement and Daby Cab's invincible waffle combined to a pretty profitable angle, I'm sure. But I don't want to lay, again, I don't want to lay minus a half here. I don't want to lay the juice. I think the Astros, really the only day you can bet the Astros is when Justin Verlander's on the bump. So no action for me here, but I do think the Astros win, and I think Cab's waffle is good money today.
I'm
putting that shit on the screen. God damn it.
I just put $100 on the under 9.5 in the Pirates Brewers game. All right. I think that the market is telling us the Astros are the play. I do not want to fade Javier Assad either.
Yeah, in my head, I was thinking about, like, who's the better pitcher going forward this year, Justin Verlander or Javier Assad? I really sat there and thought that for a while, and I was like, I don't know. I was expecting Daby Cab to be on Verlander, and then hopefully the market was going to give me some signs that the Cubs were alive, and then I would come in here fierily, advocating for Assad, but unfortunately not.
Well, obviously your friends here in the chat, want you to smoke a bat, get hot, get happy or whatever. I like it.
Oh, if you guys think that I'm in any, bro, I've already smoked the same every day. I'm just.
Oh yeah. No, I like it.
I can smoke 1,000 bats, and if I'm losing, I'm gonna be fucking furious. There's no relief. I gotta win. That's all there is to it. No,
I get it, and I'm the same way. I come in here really upset often, and the chat gets me out of it. Sometimes it takes a little while. Something that you can't just get out after capping 2 or 3 games. So
well, and it's one thing like seeing people fall down rounding second base when you only need another run or two is like literally just a kick in the nuts, man.
Vladimir Guerrero's fucking error with 2 out in the bottom of the 5th that cost me a first 5 under in the Jays' first 5. I mean, I couldn't. It legitimately took me like 15 or 16 hours to get over it. Like I didn't. It wasn't something that just took a few hours,
Like I wanted to kick that motherfucker when he hit the ground. Like, how do you fall down rounding second base, dude? Come on.
And saturated, yes. Operation Garcia did not succeed last night. And I feel bad for those of you who came on late. I feel bad.
Don't jump off.
I'll
update everyone with my Garcia notes as well, because I obviously took it in the tank last night as well, but we'll still be on.
So Daby Cab, best bets. He's got 2 here. He's got the Phillies team total over 4.5. He's got the first 5 minus a half. And the waffle play of the day for Daby is the Astros first 5. Mike Money's Grandma's wearing her sister's panties again. Play of the day is the Houston Astros and the under 8.5. He's 9-7 plus 6.6 units. Average line plus 194. And Trisha, our friend Trisha, says Granny needs yoga pants to cover up them panties. Great stuff, Daby Cab. Much love, dude. See you again here tomorrow for best bets. Let's get a couple winners for you, and let's start moving in the right direction. Any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
Oh man, even though I seem frustrated, it's just because I want to win for you guys. I want to win for my bank account. But regardless, I love being up here with you guys. I love capping with you guys. We got a long baseball season ahead.
Well, Daby, why don't you stay with us because we have your Texas Rangers next. Why don't you bounce after this one because I know you can talk about Heaney and Castillo. So let's keep you here for one more game here. 2:35 p.m. Eastern. We have the Seattle Mariners 12-12, 5-6 on the road at the Texas Rangers 13-12, 6-6 at home. We're at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Let's start by figuring out whether the roof will be open or not, and it will be open. 75 Fahrenheit at first pitch, between 75 and 73. There is 5% chance of precipitation at 3 p.m. That won't be enough here. We have Luis Castillo and Andrew Heaney. Heaney's looked bad, coming off an 8-3 loss at the Braves, and he looked quite a bit better. 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 5 Ks, 2 walks. I mean, it's not a great line, but that's a tough hitting Braves squad. And he looked pretty good. The Seattle Mariners versus lefties, they're not hitting him well at all. 218 average, 639 OPS. So this is probably a much better situation for him. Luis Castillo had a great start. 7-0 win at the Rockies, at Coors Field, in the thin air. He's not looked good this year, but that was an excellent start. Not look good. 36 strikeouts and 5 walks, 3 home runs allowed over 28 2/3. Maybe he's just being unlucky. Billy Friedrich says both these starters are struggling. Are you talking about? Oh, okay. It always scares me. I think I'm screwed with.
No, we're in the money zone right now. We're one swing away. Actually, never mind. We just popped out. So inning over.
We just popped out. Yeah.
Fucker.
Mikey Money says love Seattle in this spot. Love it. Rangers hitting 259, 744 OPS versus righties, going up against Luis Castillo, a pitcher they have a lot of history with. Let's get into the line history for this one. Just 3 games left after this one on the MLB card, and then we get into NBA with Troy Torrence. Again, we're going to cap Thursday and Friday here. So from a total side of things, this is sitting at under 9 at -116, 2 cents of movement towards that under. From a money line standpoint, we are sitting with the Rangers at +104. They opened up at +110. There's been 6 cents of movement towards them. And then cash flow wise, you have 43% of tickets and 58% of cash on Heaney and the Rangers. On the total, you have 65% of tickets and 68% cash on the over Jose Bouquett. Any interest in Mariners Rangers?
No, but I definitely leaned Rangers here. I don't back the Rangers often, noted Rangers hater apparently, but Castillo just has not pitched well this year, and he's just not been a guy I want to back. His last start was great, but that was the Rockies. Do I really trust the Rockies? No. And guess what? JP Crawford, breaking news, oblique strain. He's out. And he is massive for that Seattle team. Why? I don't know. I don't think he's very good, but he makes their offense, go a little more, and they just play a lot better when he's in. He's kind of like the heartbeat of that team. So I admittedly lean Rangers here, but do I have the heart to back Andrew Heaney? No. I will give him the credit if he just went Houston, Atlanta as his last 3 starts, and now he's going to Seattle, who is much worse at hitting lefties compared to those squads. You can look at them full year. Seattle against lefties, they are 19th, 95 weighted runs created plus. And if you're just interested in a smaller sample size this month, they're 90. So hitting a little worse this month, I guess. So I probably lean Rangers here, but I just didn't pull the trigger.
Daby Cab, what do you think of Andrew Heaney's start to the season? The Mariners' weakness against lefties, and what do you think of Luis Castillo's start here? Did you have any interest in this game?
I get it, what everyone's saying about Castillo. 1-4 on the season with a 4.4 ERA. You did touch on the 36 strikeouts and 5 walks. I mean, his stuff is still moving all over the place. That's why the strikeouts are still there. I'd be careful with this start. I always say, like, you asked me at the beginning of the season how many starts. Do you remember the number I told you that I needed for a starter? Between 4 and 5. I said I want between 4 and 5 starts. Your first 2 don't really matter to me, okay? Because you're still getting in form. Your third one kind of starts to matter. Your 4th and 5th start are the most important starts if I'm looking for where a starter is going to be at for the season. And his 4th and 5th starts right here, Chicago, 6 innings, 2 runs. Not bad. Colorado, I know Colorado sucks, but 7 innings, no runs. So his 4th and 5th start, he looked pretty good. I think that Castillo might be hitting form right here. I would not bet against him. I do understand what you guys are saying with Andrew Heaney and Mariners not being good against lefties. You know, I don't think he's great, but he's very serviceable. He's as average as you can get. He's not good. He's not bad. So if Mariners aren't hitting lefties, he might be able to work through them for 5 innings. Maybe he can give you. I don't see him giving you 6. He might be able to give you 5 innings here today. Then it's going to go to the bullpen. So maybe I look at it under here. I'm off this game. I really didn't have an angle at it. I'll say one thing, and I know this because I've been paying attention, obviously, with betting Seager, and I'm officially in the black now betting it, or I'm in the red, excuse me. I'm officially in the red now. I'm down $150 on the season with my personal bets on him. Very frustrated. So where it's at, though, is Garcia. He's hit 1.5 bases 7 out of his last 8 games. I'm going to say that again. In 7 out of his last 8 games, he's hit over 1.5 total bases. So if you're wanting to look for a prop bet, go there.
Yeah, do you have interest in this first 5 under, or did you, with the strength of the Mariners bullpen, would you prefer that full game under with Cab if you were going to make a bet on the under?
I guess I'd probably go first 5 just because, like I said, maybe you can see Andrew Haney giving you 5 innings. And you know, regardless of the numbers, the Rangers bullpen's not good. I'm gonna say that right now. So I'd probably go first 5 if I was gonna go under.
A lot of cappers here looking at the over, and I get it. I mean, you have 2 pitchers with not the strongest numbers thus far this year. What about you, Jose? Did you have any interest in that first 5 or 4 game under?
No, I just didn't trust either pitcher enough.
Okay.
By the way, Peralta in trouble right now. Man on the corner is 1 out. So McCutcheon's hitting, so it's easy double play ball. Gets us out of here, but
yeah, McCutcheon does not look good. That's why he came in a pinch hit, and it was just horrible yesterday in a high leverage situation. Okay, I've got to get this game on here. It's just bothering me so much. Okay, I'm interested in this first 5 under. I'm going to study it a little more. This game pops off in an hour and 26 minutes. Daby Cab, thank you so much for your time, my man. Again, Daby Cab had doubled up. Phillies team total over 4.5 and Phillies first 5 minus 0.5. Daby Cab, any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
JPZ's right on point there. Max Fried was one of the people that we were talking about when I first made that point to you about 4th or 5th start. And he's a perfect example right there of somebody who's getting right now. Love capping with you guys. We'll be back tomorrow, so we don't need a long farewell. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
There he is, Dabra Cadabra. We move on. 3:10 p.m. Eastern with the San Diego Padres 14-13, 8-5 on the road. The Colorado Rockies 6-19, 4-8 at home. Let's go to Coors Field in Colorado. 71 Fahrenheit, 8.2 miles per hour in, and then after a couple hours, it's just right to left. Let's get into the line history here for this one. God, it's a big pitch. Okay. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Randy Vasquez, ex-Yankee, now San Diego Padre, going up against Dakota Hudson. From a line history standpoint, we have this total at 11 minus 108 to the under. Open up at 10.5 and a half run move to the over, now 11. God. And then from a money line standpoint here, we have the Rockies at plus 128. We know Steve G has been eating off of fading his Colorado Rockies. They open up at minus 143. The Padres are now minus 139. A very, very slight move to the Colorado Rockies strikeout. God, gotta love it when you see McCutcheon up there.
yeah, he's just not good anymore. By the way, I tailed Razor's action he put in the chat here. 2-5 exacta box at Gulfstream. So Razor, let me know how that goes.
Beautiful. I mean, I could call the race if you would like.
It's starting soon if it hasn't already started. So
okay,
okay,
keep that action. The Razor's horse bet on the channel so I can pull it up while you're breaking this one down. So then we have bullpens here. Bullpen wise, let's just go a quick look in the cash flow and then move on to the next spot on the board. Bullpen wise, the Rockies are obviously horrific. Actually not as bad as they have been in other years. 4.67 ERA, 1.55 WHIP though, 270 opponent's batting average. They have been just absolutely atrocious. And the Padres bullpen right now, has been pretty good. 3.75 ERA, 1.23 whip, 237 opponent's batting average. And then cash-wise for this one, you have 61% of tickets, 58% cash on the under. And on the money line, we have 87% of tickets and 97% of cash on the San Diego Padres. 97% of cash. I mean, it just happens in these Rockies games so often where it looks like the move is to back the Rockies, which is one of the most difficult things to possibly do. We have Randy Vasquez. He's coming off 5-2 loss at home versus the Jays. It was his first start of the year. He went 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and he allowed a homer. First start. Dakota Hudson coming off 7-0 loss at home versus the Mariners. You know, that was the spot we just spoke of because he went up against Luis Castillo, and he was, clearly the worst pitcher on the mound. 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 1 homer, 1 K, 5 walks. Padres are hitting righties hard. 271, 742 OPS. Rockies versus righties, 242, 688 OPS. Take it away for us here, Jose. We have the Padres at the Rockies.
Yeah, no action here as well. The card it seems like it's going to be pretty light. But I lean Rockies. I didn't make it official yesterday because I just didn't tweet it, but I took it in the mouth yesterday with the Rockies as well. Man, just no action here. They've got me a bad taste in my house. Right. Dakota Hudson,
another strikeout.
Good. Good, we're out of it. All right, well, that's nice. The umpire in the Red Sox game is being a skunt as well, so we'll see how he goes. But no action here for me, unfortunately. I think there's other games you can bet on and bigger dogs that are actually more appealing to me, to be honest.
Well, let's roll on here. Your race at Gulfstream starting here shortly. For all of you who are moving on Razors action, we'll be able to I'll be able to call that race. Oh, we're off. We are off. Who are you on?
2-5 exacta box.
2-5 exacta box. That 2, your 4 to 5 favorite. Adios Asher up front. We're traveling 5.5 furlongs here on the Gulfstream Tapeta, West Hallandale Beach, Florida. D4 Christensen at 4-1 making an outside move. That opening quarter up in 22 and 4 seconds. And we're looking for your 5, who's back in the pack right now. Unsociable at 11-1. He's how you're going to get paid in this race. We're moving into the stretch run. It is the 2 Adios Asher, who is being taken over by the 4 Christensen at 4-1. Now, Adios Asher has a ton of horse. Look at him battle back. What a beauty. But I think he should get taken here at the end, but he's not going to. Your final is a 2-4-3. 2 Adios Asher, 4 Christensen, and 3 Executive Search. All right, so let's go back to MLB. Next up for us, 4:05 p.m. Eastern, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers, 15-11, 6-3 on the road. The Washington Nationals, 10-13, 4-7 at home. We're at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. We have 2 games left before we get into NBA. From a money line standpoint and weather, let's go right there. From a weather standpoint, 58 Fahrenheit, 6.7 miles per hour in between 6.7 and 7.6 miles per hour. From a money line standpoint, we have Mackenzie Gore and your Washington Nationals sitting right now at plus 158. They opened up at 170. That's 12 cents of movement towards your Washington Nationals. Then from a total scenario, we are dealing with a 7.5 minus 103 to the under. This opened up at 9. This opened up at 9 yesterday. Wow. 1.5 move towards the under. Absolutely wild. Let's get into the cash flow for this one. We have 92% of tickets and 97% of the cash on the Dodgers. I mean, that's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, how many? I'm telling you that the Dakota Hudson. I guess let's just leave the Rockies out of it. But this is another dog that's appealing, and maybe this is the one you were referring to. Mackenzie Gore coming off a tough start at home, but that was against the Astros, who smashed lefties, and the Dodgers are hitting lefties as well. I mean, it's not like they're bad against lefties. Dodgers right now are hitting 260 with a 721 OPS, so not a ton of power, but a very, very high average. And everybody is on your LA Dodgers. Mackenzie Gore is a good pitcher. And the Nats hit righties well, 246 with a 736 OPS. Take it away here. Do you trust Yoshinobu Yamamoto coming off that 9-4 loss at home versus the Mets? He did not look good. 4 runs, 3 of which were earned, 6 innings, but he did have 9 Ks and 1 walk. He's got 30 strikeouts through 22 innings. He looks like the real deal, but he has had some hiccups here or there. Take it away, Jose. Dodgers, Nats.
Yeah, I definitely thought this was a more appealing dog spot, and I actually think the A's aren't bad either, but the issue is obviously like the Dodgers. Do you want to fade them? Especially, do you want to fade them with a lefty on the mound? I should say I think they struggle against lefties a little more. Actually, yeah, this month, shockingly enough, 88 weighted runs created plus against lefties this month. For the full season, they are at 106, but it seems like they've struggled here in the last 235 at bats. That's how much it is for this month so far against lefties. So I definitely lean towards them here, but that under, Jimmy, I mean, that under definitely makes it seem like, the movement makes it seem like the under is live, and the under makes it seem like the Mackenzie Gore is going to pitch well, and the Nationals are live in this game here as well. You mentioned that market movement. It's so weird. I had it opening up at 8, and then it quickly goes up to 9. Actually, I should even say it opens up at 9 because that 8 lasted for 10 minutes. So I'm going to assume that's just like a site error. So opens up at 9 and then just plummets all the way down to 7.5 here with, let me double check here again. 26% of the bets and 27% of the money on the under. I think the under is live here, and I might be on the under here, very much so. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Nats ended up winning this game. Like, what is a plus 1.5 for the Nats here? I don't take many of those. A plus 1.5 minus 105. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Troy Torrence, who, we see the milkman back there in studio right now, Jimmy. We should probably just bring him on for this because we know how this man goes. Big home dogs, the market moving towards the under, landing at 7.5, 11-4 to the under. And if the public's on the road team, it's 9-2 to the under, 10-1 to the road team. So let's bring on the milkman himself. And I just like playing this. Troy Torrence.
I still can't believe you think that's a damn cow, Jose.
That is for sure a cow.
Well, you would know better than I, so.
That is true. That is factual statements there. Troy, what do you think about this game?
You know what? I should have been on the Nationals the past few games. The database has been telling me to back the Nationals. I haven't. I would have been profitable had I done so. Now it's telling me to go the other way and get on the Dodgers here. This total move, as harsh as it did, is suggesting, favor towards the road team, especially if there's a big home dog. And there's under trends all over the place this season with totals ticking down and landing below 8. It's really unpassable. And I chose to go Nationals team total under because, like I said, I had that 10-1 road team, and I've never seen the home team in that entire sample. Only one time have they gone over their team total. So I prefer unders in this game.
All right.
Have you
I'm
moved
on full
on
game under.
You are on it, Jose?
I'm on officially now, minus 110 for the 7.5. Troy, what are you on again?
I took Nationals team total under, and I also did on Bovada. There's a total parlay, which is Dodgers money line under 8.5 or plus 200.
All right, let's move on to the final spot here in MLB. Troy, stick with us for it. 7:05 p.m. Eastern with the Oakland Athletics 9-16, 5-7 on the road. The New York Yankees 17-8, 8-4 at home. We are in the Bronx. Let's get into the weather in New York. It is 50 Fahrenheit, 8.9 miles per hour right to left. Across the diamond dies down to 6.9 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history for this one. This total is sitting at 8, minus 116 to the under. Opened up at plus 102 to the under, so 18 cents of movement towards this under. From a money line standpoint, where the hell is it? Sorry. From a money line standpoint here, we are sitting with a minus 265 for Nestor Cortez and the Yankees. They opened up at minus 260, 5 cents of movement there. Then we're going to get into the cash flow for this one. We have 65% of the tickets, 60% of cash on the over, no movement. We have 97% of tickets and 97% of cash on this home favorite. Then we will, this is a big pitch here. 2 on, no out, 1-1 count. That's a strike, right? 1-2 count now. Then let's get into the X's and O's. Alex Wood, 0-2, 7.89 ERA, 2.03 whip. He's not looked good thus far this year. Coming off 6-3 loss at Cleveland. He went 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 1 walk. Nestor Cortez coming off a thing of beauty. They lost the game 2-0 and strikeout. That's a huge strikeout. Nestor Cortez, 9 Ks in that 2-0 extra inning loss at home versus the Rays. And now we have both lefties on the mound. Who hits lefties in this group? And surprisingly, the Yankees have been very poor against lefties, very poor. 236, 659 OPS. They're not hitting them. And Oakland A's just behind them, 207, 654 OPS. A shout out to Brian Watson in the house. Now, here we go. Do we like the under in this one? Take it away, Jose Bouquett, A's, Yankees.
Yeah, I was semi-interested in the under here, but more on the A's. Truly, I was looking at them and I kind of went back and forth, and I kind of ultimately decided, like, okay, I guess I'll stay off this. But if and when this drops down to 7.5, I will be more interested in the under there. Something I've learned listening to Troy actually is that, like if those numbers drop down like a half run, you actually sometimes feel better about betting it because it gives you more confidence the market's on it or whatnot. And you've got 35% of the bets, 40% of the money on the under in this game. And I have this opening up at -120 to the over, now flipping to -120 to the under. So if that does go down to 7.5, I will be very interested. Jimmy, you just look like you just got shot, so it doesn't seem good.
Oh, God, you got to make that fucking catch, man. I mean, it's good for our Brewers -1 tie game now.
Oh, thank God, yes. Yeah, that is good for the Brewers.
Terrible for our live under. I mean, you got to make that catch. Unfucking believable. What an asshole. I mean, what an absolute asshole. I mean, it hits your glove, you fucking bum.
By the way, ribeye play of the day, Ty France for Mr. Miguel Money. So shout out to you there, Miguel De Niro. Troy, did you have any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, this is in range right now to be cash cow. I mean, technically it is, but I like to see more movement on the line. I think right now it's moved between right around 5 cents. It's just not enough for me to move confidently. I like to see it move at least 10 cents to be cash cow. I mean, we're already up at 250. I'll wait on this game. I mean, this will be easy for me. If I see this market starting to move towards the Yankees, I'll bet it. It will fit the cash cow profile. Now, one thing I have noticed that I haven't quantified is the last game of the series, the cash cow is not as effective. However, it's not going to stop me from betting it. That's how profitable it's been. And it should have cashed yesterday, but the Braves gave it up in the top of 9. So, yeah, I'm looking towards the Yankees. And honestly, if the line moves back the other way towards the A's, I'll lean towards the A's. I mean, this is a very, very what's the right term? It's a term you use in poker a lot. You're very polarized. It's a very polarizing price range. So the market movement is very effective. So it's one way or the other. For me, I'm hoping it's a cash cow.
I'm going to be on the under 8 on this one. Oh, I don't have that one. I'm going to be on the under 8 here. Okay, let's review all action here in MLB. And yes, got to get to Nick Martinez for one, man. So top of the second here. Wheeler looks like he's rolling, but definitely going to need a run from the Philadelphia Phillies. This is not how I wanted today to start. JPG says it's Alex Wood. Don't overthink it. I kind of don't hate Alex Wood in this situation here in the Bronx against the Yankees team that's not hitting lefties.
On the road, I typically want to back these guys too. Like Alex Wood doesn't want to fucking pitch in Oakland with all that shitty facilities that he's experienced better. He knows that there's better than Coliseum. At least now he's in the Yankees. He's going to do nice shit. So we'll see.
All right, let's review all MLB action. Unfortunately, we've already lost that first 5 under 4. I only put 100 down on that live under, but that's in a peril. And the Brewers -1 looks like it. Oh, what's going to happen here? And that's, oh my God, right at the warning track. Jesus, that was so close to 6-3 Brewers. And for those of you who took the +200, I mean, that's what I should have done instead of taking the under. I just, fucked that up. That's all this.
Noli knows likes Toronto KC under.
Yeah, I don't.
If it goes.
If it goes, yeah, I don't know if it goes, and how long. Just the rain messes it up. But if the rain was not an issue, I'd be all over that as well. Then I tailed Jose with the Boston Red Sox. We'll see how that goes. White Sox Twins, we stayed off. Taint play today. Phillies first 5 -1/2 -120. I've got the first 3 -1/2 and first 5 -1/2. You have the under 8. That might be the better way of handling things. Jays Royals, no action. The Astros game starts in 53 minutes. I'm interested in using them here. The first 5 under in Mariners Rangers. I'm close to. I need a little more time with. Padres Rockies, we stayed off. Dodgers Washington, we stayed off, and I'll be on the under 8 in the A's game. Jose, can you review your action, my friend?
Yeah, and if the cash cow parlay does happen, and cash cow is the Yankees, it would be Yankees Astros today, pretty comfortably for those who like parlays there. My action officially in here: Red Sox full game money line +114. It was a stressful first inning, but it seems like the offense is going to be here for the Red Sox today. We'll see. McKenzie's throwing the ball low, so hopefully not for long. Phillies Reds under 8 -115. I live bet the Brewers at +209. So let's go crew here. 2 guys on still. And I've got the under 7.5 in the Nationals Doyers game. Hoping that this is a quiet evening there in Nationals Park.
Oh no, Bob Cole. Real Prime said Bob Cole has passed. That's sad. I knew his daughter. She was cool as well. Sad.
Another horse for Razor here. Razor, I'll jump on with you again here.
Yeah, it's the Wesley Ward 2-year-old. I mean, that's a good company there. They have Wesley Ward's horses. Yeah.
LJ says, thought Jose doesn't bet Boston. Is this the first time, Jose? Is that what you said earlier?
This is the first time all year that I've bet the Red Sox.
You're
going to be interesting.
The Matrix, man. That's your rules. I would recommend not doing that. Whenever I don't. I burn myself.
Yeah,
absolutely burn myself. But,
yeah, I don't love it. I'll tell you that. But I definitely sweat my Red Sox bets more than any other bet. So I'm going to pace around for the next 45 minutes, or however long this NBA segment goes. And I hope everyone cashes your bets today. And the Garcia method. I'll get into that real quick before we get into good old NBA.
By the way, White Sox have the bases juiced with no out against the Twin Peaks. Yes, let's talk about the Operation Garcia. So yesterday was the worst day. So we've done 8 days of the Garcia method and 22 games. Before this, the worst game was Game 1 Heat Celtics, 8-9 down 2.2 units. That was the worst, down $498 in that one. The worst day was Wednesday, April 17th, 14-13 down 1.1 units. So we smashed that. Yesterday we went 16-19 down 5.6 units. So I lost $936. So now overall I'm up $5,512 in the 8 days. That's covered 9 days because there's one day with no basketball. Jose, how did it go for you?
Yes, I think I could actually probably upload my graphic here, but I got took it in the mouth yesterday, unfortunately. But I'm only 31-30. I bet both of them yesterday, and I went 8-9, and then I didn't calculate the last one, but I updated my spreadsheet here, and I'm trying to pull it up again. Sorry. Yes, I'm 31-30. One push in there, down $124. First day was $10 units. Yesterday was 15. And I'm going back to the well, going 15 here today, and it's going to be very interesting. I mean, obviously, like the Celtics game, for example, yesterday, Tyler Herro had 20 points, and then the last minute, he had a bunch of free throws to get him over 24.5. So shit like that was a little annoying, but I don't see why we're not on it. Now, the most interesting thing to me is obviously that we're 30. I'm 30, and I'm down units, so I'm going to see how that juice goes for me, but I'm still going to be on it today. It'll be interesting. And by the way, both games went over yesterday, so that obviously helped out for over bettors. I was on the first half unders, both of them lost, full game under lost. But today I expect unders to come, and hopefully in the weekend. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm still gonna be on it. But yeah, Red Sox, go Red Sox.
Yeah, we attack it again today. Is what it is. But let's get into NBA. Troy, you swept the board on your last show with us, 4-0. You added that Pelicans first quarter late and gave you a 4-0 day. By the way, Viper MB waiting to take Minnesota live here. So that's a very interesting way of handling things. So let's roll. Morgan Spooner says, I think the no emotion approach to gambling is best. You don't want to get too excited when you win or lose, just assessing it as a data point and moving on indifferently. I agree. It's very difficult to do, but I agree that would be the best case scenario.
And to the prop market that you've been betting so consistently, if you're going to jump in on it, now is the time. I actually meant to jump in yesterday, but I had to go to a basketball game. I got out of work kind of late, so I couldn't do it. I'm going to be on it today 100%. You definitely see zigzag theories that comes to totals in the NBA. In particular rounds. If the first day of the round is overs, the next day of the round or the game in a particular round goes under. And it's very consistent. Last year it happened all the time. So I think if we're expecting unders today, which I think we are, I'm going to be on those under props today for the first time. And, I kind of I didn't dig through it with a fine tooth comb like you mentioned yesterday, Jimmy, but I did do a little bit of analysis. And I noticed yesterday that it looks like the books weren't adjusting. And I know that you had to wait till last minute to bet these, right? So I waited and I just kind of lost track of time. And I had my basketball game, lost it. So
I think it's a mistake waiting. I've been waiting till about 4:30. I'm going to start getting in earlier and then adding the ones late. We know that there's some holes in the player prop market that get shored up as bets come in. So I do not think – I think it's lazy to wait just because the final players become available. I really believe that.
Right.
I think it's –
just get the ones in right away that are open.
Exactly. I think that – and then I'm testing it all and studying it, and we'll figure it all out as we go. Let's get into it. Yesterday was very frustrating. I came in here with 4 bets. They all cashed, and I didn't bet any of them. And that's me being weak. Again,
yeah, but that's what you do, and that's the problem. Like, I felt bad yesterday watching that damn game, the Pelicans game, because I was like,
I fucking nailed it. I fucking nailed it. It was just the Pelicans were tired. It was the 5th game of the series basically for them against a completely. And again, another thing is, and this is all what the Undoing Project is about. You got to bet against what everybody just saw. Everybody just saw the Pelicans almost beat them. You got to bet against that shit. But you guys have made me more money, of course, and then you've taken away from me. So
it's just funny though for me. Like, I've been having a great playoff run. I'm up 6.5 units. I got a 28% ROI. My 2 losses, two of my few losses were plays you were on the other side of. So I'm definitely going to be paying more close attention to JTB.
I've hit 6 straight without leaving those 4 winners alone. But it's okay. Let's move the page on to tomorrow. And it's funny that we get started, today. I should have moved, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. We talk about unders. I'm on the first half over and the full game over in Cleveland Cavaliers at Orlando Magic. That's where we get started here right now. Cavaliers in regular season 48-34. They were a pretty good road team, 22-19. Orlando Magic was a very good home team, 29-12 at home, and they need to show out right now. We're at the Kia Center in Orlando, Florida. Let's get into line history here for this one. I'd like to start with the total because that's where I'm involved. I'm on the over 201 full game. I got that at an even minus 110. Now, this did go down to 198. And I was putting it together, and I knew I was going to do it. I should have just done it. I thought that this could keep going down. Of course, I wake up, and that's not the case. And, I had to deal with the 201. Very, very frustrating. Should have got a better number. I'm not sure how much it will affect me. And then that first half as well, I got 102.5. That's where it is right now. It is juiced to minus 113. I expect it to go up. So I'm on overs in this first one. From a spread perspective, we are sitting here with the Cavaliers at plus 2.5 at plus 101. This is going to move to 3 any minute. The Magic have already gone from minus 1.5 to minus 2.5. 82% of the tickets are on the Orlando Magic, just 43% of the cash. They're still sharp, or bigger bets, I should say, on the Magic. Now, I would like to add the Magic first quarter. That's what I would like to add. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Doug leaning towards the Magic. Chase says, so everyone's all on the Magic and Sixers and Nuggets. Correct me if I'm wrong, because maybe there's exceptions in here. We'll go over all of that. But I am going to move on the first quarter, I expect here. So Cleveland 4-6 in the 10 games leading into the playoffs. They shot 48.8 from the field and 39.1 from three. Their shooting has been poor here in the playoffs. We've gone through 2 games. They shot 42.9 from the field. They've shot just 29% from three. I expect them to shoot better on the road, but that still doesn't concern me from taking the Magic first quarter. The pace has been fine. The pace is at 95.5 possessions a game. That's basically a possession and a half slower than both teams played in the 10 games leading up to this. So it's not that. Yes, thank you, Justin. Good God. Sorry. Orlando. Oh yeah, pace. Pace is similar to what it's been like for a little while here. Orlando 5-5 in the 10 games leading up into the playoffs. They were shooting 46.8% from the field and 34.8% from three. In the playoffs, they're shooting 34.3% from the field and 23.6% from three. They're going to shoot better here. Both teams are going to shoot better here. This is not a pace situation. This is two teams. Now you could say, look, it's the defending. They're defending the perimeter well. They're defending. No, they're shooting the ball. They're shooting the ball so bad, it's going to progress to the mean. And this first half and this full game is going to go over, and it should not be this low, is what I think. Donovan Mitchell went for 30 in that 97-83 win on Saturday. Then he went for 23 in the 96-86 victory on Monday. He's playing very good. Jared Allen, another double-double. He's got double-doubles in both the first 2 games. And he went for 20 rebounds in the last one. He's just the third Cavalier in franchise history to get 20 rebounds in a game. Brad Doherty, Kevin Love are the other ones. 38 rebounds over the first 2 games for him. I think Orlando's going to step up here at home. I think this barn's going to be rocking. I think it's going to be packed. And maybe I'm making a mistake with the Orlando Magic first quarter. And maybe I'm diving into the psychological expectation of how Mosley's going to coach here. But the Magic are playing horrifically in the first quarters. Over and over and over and over again. Are they going to keep doing it? They have been down at the end of the first quarter in 13 of their last 15 basketball games. Mosley's talking about it everywhere. He's talking about it everywhere. Oldie says that he's on the ground in Orlando. Thank God, Kelly. Thank good God. And Oldie saying nobody cares. And even in San Jose, where there's only 50,000 hockey fans, half of them, a little under half of them, are at every playoff game losing their minds. There has to be 25,000 basketball fans in Orlando that care about the Magic, I think. This is from Mosley's mouth. You're climbing uphill the rest of the way. You can play them even all you want the rest of the way. But we have to do a better job coming out with an intensity and a fight to hit right from the beginning. Banchero's playing very well. Wagner's playing well. The rest of the players have to. What happens if you read Scorecasting, a book that Mark Cuban does the intro for, they always talk about how the role players step up at home in the playoffs. You can count on it all the time. The role players step up. Where do the role players disappear? On the road in the playoffs. And there's psychological reasons why that happens. It's a great book, Scorecasting. So I'm on first half over, full game over, and I'm going to add first quarter I expect here, but I want to hear your breakdown. Take it away. Troy Torrence, first game on the board. Magic at home to the Cavaliers, game 3, East first round.
Jimmy, you drive some really compelling points, and I'm definitely taking that into consideration because I thought that this line was getting a little bit too out of control, getting up to a full possession. And I got some numbers as relates to the database last year in this round, in this particular game, that I think is going to get you excited about what you're looking at here, Jim. So this is what we call a kitchen sink game for Orlando. Down 0-2, going home. this is a kitchen sink. They're going to do everything in their damn power, all in effort to get the win. Because if you go down 0-3, we already know the odds of what that looks like for your future in the playoffs. It means you're freaking done. So we know we're getting the kitchen sink from Orlando. Interestingly enough, the Magic have been a public team in every game they've played this entire series so far. But it wasn't public to me. I was on the other side. I was heavy on the Cavs in game 1, game 2. And it's because pretty obvious reasons that I think everybody here knows. It was the Magic's first playoff appearance, very unfamiliar environment, game environment. Cavs got bounced in the first round last year, and you could tell that they were playing with an edge, especially with that home crowd behind them, which in Cleveland, I think that's a pretty good home court advantage, or just a good home crowd in general. And offensive shot creation. That was my big concern with the Magic. Where are they going to get their points from? And we typically, what do? When a team's down 0-2 in a series, what we got here, Jim? You got
4-0 Phillies.
Wow.
That's good money.
Thing.
It's good money.
Thing. Down 0-2 in a series, what do? When they come home, we usually typically hammer these spots, but it's been a non-competitive series. The Magic haven't been able to hold their own, and I think it's a simple. The game plan being implemented by the Cavs has been extremely successful, and it's opposite of what the Heat did to the Celtics yesterday. Don't let the Magic have success in the paint. That's clearly what their plan is. They're leaving shooters open, running ragged on the perimeter. They don't care. They're packing the paint. That's what the Magic like to do their damage. And they'd much rather sacrifice a 3-point shot to a team who's bad from the perimeter, low frequencies, bottom of the pack in success rate. And like I said, I mean, it's the exact opposite of what we see in the Celtics game yesterday. I knew Spo. I was on the Heat yesterday. I knew Spo was going to make some changes. They got shook in game 1. Game 2, they bounced back. So here's some numbers from you. I'm going to go first from SDQL. Since 2010, in round 1, game 3, home favorites off 2 losses. They're only 10-11 ATS. I thought it'd be a lot bigger than that. And if the spread is less than 3, which it's not anymore, I see 3 starting to pop up. I think this is definitely heading towards 3. Only 2-4 ATS. And I don't think that's very favorable in favor of the Magic, because I'm looking for ways to back the Magic in this game. Last year in round 1, game number 3, the market move on the spread was 0-5 ATS. Not one market move was accurate last year in this game, in this round. Market move on the total was only 2-6 ATS. Sharp action was only 1-4 ATS. The public, 3-0 ATS in game 3 last year, and this is by margin. All 3 of them by double digits, an average of 15 points. And the public on the over, 4-1 to the over. So you get public action on the over, it goes over, or did 4-1 last season. And the kitchen sink last year, right? Down 0-2 going home. Nets pushed. Probably should have won that game if you remember how that game played out. Now, the Warriors, they did win and cover by margin, but that spread was, I think, 7-8 points. The Hawks beat the Celtics at home by 8 points, and the Timberwolves lost, didn't cover. So you had a 2-2 spot. Oh, man, this is just a measly 2-point spread. I don't know what this home crowd is going to look like. I know Ian is in the chat. I bet you he's probably made some comments on what this home crowd is going to look like. Ian, what is your thoughts on the Magic at home this game? I would like to see what Ian, he follows this team pretty closely. He's been talking about fading him all season, and I kept that in mind when I faded him in the first round of this playoff, in the first 2 rounds of this playoff series. I think regardless of what happens in this game, it's going to be a Cavs in game 4. I hope the Magic win this spot so then I could come back in on the Cavs next game. I'm just not comfortable at this point moving on this game, especially hearing your sentiment, Jim. Knowing when I've been on the other side so far this playoffs, it hasn't worked out well for me. You got to take things like that into consideration. Tickets are $42 to go to this playoff basketball game. Wow. I mean, the Magic just did not do enough for me to inspire confidence. Schematically, I didn't see any adjustments that they made between game 1 and game 2. And competitively, they were completely outclassed. So it's just a difficult game for me.
I'm going to add the first quarter. Land of the Blind says, give me the Cavs way too big for the Magic. They are. They are a problem up front. And that's what hasn't worked for me is when I am passive and leave money on the table and then I hammer hard the next day. but I'm going to go with my gut and my plan here and deal with the consequences that may arise. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, East first round, Game 3, New York Knicks at Philadelphia 76ers. It's nuts that we're sitting here with the Knicks up 2-0 in the series. So obviously, the first thing that comes in my mind is, well, I should take the Sixers to win the series, right? Get that big risk reward. But is anybody who's watching Embiid's limping around histrionics want to trust that knee? Because, I don't. I can't. I mean, I just don't. There's no way that knee's making it through a full playoff run, but it's a pretty nice number to win the series, plus 350. I think it probably should be more. A lot of people on them here tonight, and I just have this issue with that goddamn knee. I just, obviously, this isn't just now. This is different. Let's compare it to, let's say, Jokic before the playoffs last year. He'd missed a bunch of games down the stretch. We thought he was hurt. It's different. When Jokic played in game 1, he looked fine. Embiid does not look fine. Do I want that in my head? There's my guy Harold Williams in the house. Mikey Money took the Sixers to win the series, and the theory being I'll bet him tonight, and it's a free roll on the series bet. Yeah. I just have a huge concern about the knee, and I want to hear what you guys think about it. So over the 10 games leading into the playoffs, the Knicks were 6-4, slowest pace in the league, and the pace has even slowed down further. It's clear that the Knicks are playing at their pace. The Sixers are being forced to play at the Knicks' pace. Now, the Knicks were at home. Does that change in Game 3? I don't think it does because of Embiid's knee. They're not going to want to sprint up the floor unless he's positioned properly. So the Knicks shot 48.1 from the field. They only shot 40.1 in those two victories. They weren't shooting the ball that well. They shot exactly the same from 3. Now, the Sixers were shooting worse than they were leading into the playoffs. The Sixers were playing their best basketball of the year, 8-2 over those 10 games. So let's take a look at the line history here. I can understand why everybody wants the Sixers here. It's already moved to 6. This opened up at 3.5. The 3.5 was only available for 15 minutes before it went to 4. That 4 was available for 5 hours until it moved to 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6. Maybe it's a smash and grab, and maybe I'm too late to the party because I am going to act as if I'm too late to the party. I do not want the Sixers at 6. This total opened up at 205. It had the exact same trajectory as the total in the Magic Cavs game. It went down and then it came up. This total went all the way down to 201, and now it's back at 203.5. There's still been a 1.5 move towards the under. And when you get to the cash flow here in this one, we have 79% of the tickets on the Sixers and 59% of the cash. It's 21 and 41 on the Knicks. 50-50 on the total, but 89% of the cash is on that over. Knicks won game 1 in a very, very close battle. Then getting 8 straight points in the last 30 seconds was mind-boggling. Brunson went for 24, Hart 21 and 15 boards. What a monster. DiVincenzo, the whole Villanova squad rolling, but DiVincenzo went for 19. And again, the Knicks just did what they had to do down the stretch. Isaiah Hartenstein looked very good because Embiid looks hobbled. Now we have Tyrese Maxey dealing with an illness of some kind. He's not 100%, but he looked great. 35 points, 9 boards. Embiid goes for 34 points and 10 boards. The torn lateral left meniscus made him lose 29 games, and he's not jumping. Now, he said angrily, we're going to win this. And I believe him. But I'm worried about that knee. Take it away, Troy Torrence. Knicks at Sixers, game 3.
This is another series I've seen very clearly up until this point. I laid it with the Knicks in game 1, and I took the points with the 76ers in game 2. It worked out perfectly. And the books in both games, in my opinion, gave us the answers to the test. In game 1, Embiid was ruled in. The line didn't move back towards the 76ers, and that's after the line had already moved 1.5 points. So you figured at first that the line might have been moving that way because Embiid not playing. But then it gets ruled in and it does not tick even a half a point back in their direction. I thought that was very telling. Sure enough, the Knicks get the bag in game 1 and game 2. A very similar market. Embiid gets ruled in. Line drops from 5.5 down to 4.5. That's important stuff right there. It's clear as day. The market has been extremely efficient in this series, and based on that statement right there, immediately I want to look towards the 76ers as we're talking about a 10-point swing between these home to road split, right? I mean, they're saying that this home court advantage is worth 10 points. And this is surprising to me because, like you, Jimmy, Embiid, he's been my concern all series in terms of backing the 76ers. But I do think that the Knicks win this series ultimately with the level of physicality being allowed as the league shifts to a new style of play, a more defensive style of play. The physical, tough, gritty, the thuggish type of team should rise to the top. And the Knicks are leading the NBA right now, especially in the playoffs, in thug rating. That's what we used to call it. Me and my boy Faber used to say, what's his thug rating? What's your thug rating? What's the thug? What does a thug do on the basketball court? They're diving for, everything that has to do with possessions, is getting more possessions for your team, diving on the floor, getting loose balls, getting offensive rebounds, hustling on offense, in transition, in defense, just everywhere, being everywhere on the court. The Knicks got a plethora of guys that fall into that thug category, in my opinion. And these numbers shouldn't change as the playoffs go on. Hustle is something you can count on game in and game out, at home, on the road, down 10, up 10. It doesn't change anything. And who's going to give up their life to win these games? I think the likes of OG Anunoby, Hartenstein, Hart, Brunson, Robinson, McBride are going to be the ones that get it done. On the opposite side, you got Embiid, who's frail, Maxey, a very finesse player, Tobias Harris, who's pretty much invisible in this series, and then you got guys like Buddy Hield. Sure, you got Batum and Lowry, but their thug rating does not even compare to the Knicks. But the 76ers did make adjustments in this game. They flipped the script in game 2 on the defensive glass and in transition, where the Knicks absolutely dominated. I thought the 76ers had the best player on the floor with Embiid, but he's clearly hurt. If you watch him closely, and I rewatched this game, I've watched this game twice now. Every time he jumps, he's coming down gingerly. Every time he jumps up in traffic, he's gingerly coming down. He's very skeptical about landing on his legs, and he's falling to the ground. Most of the time, he's ending up on the floor. He's hobbling as he runs up and down the floor. And in transition, I remember watching Embiid hustle his ass off, the block shots off the back of the bat, blocking shots off, from behind, chase down style. We're not seeing any of that. And he tried to. I remember one time in this game, there was a steal, and the Knicks busted out in transition, and he tried his ass off to run back on defense and get that chase down block. He couldn't do it. He was way too slow. He gave up after 3 or 4 steps because he knew he was not the same. But I want to say, and saying all of this, it's a spot for the 76ers. Like I said earlier, this line flipped from +5 to -5. That's a 10-point swing. Usually results in a blowout. They've proven to be competitive in both games of the series. We got the kitchen sink classic with a 2-possession spread that's 5-1 ATS in the last 6. We got Sharps on the Knicks. Sharps are 1-4 ATS in this game last year. We had the public on the 76ers who were 3-0 ATS in this game last year. Like I said earlier, all 3 are double-digit blowout wins. We know the NBA wants to extend the series on some mob shit. And we also have a game time decision tag on Mitchell Robinson, who's a massive, massive piece in this handicap. It's a huge advantage to have 2 defenders to wear down Embiid, and good defenders nonetheless. It removes issues like, if someone was getting into foul trouble, not only are you like wearing out Embiid, their best player, a guy who's hurt, frail to begin with, but you also got, if they get into foul trouble, you got a guy coming off the bench who's fresh and ready to play that could defend. I think the best way to play this game is 76ers in the first quarter. I moved on at -2 earlier. I tweeted it out. I tagged you in the gym. I got -2 at -115. Oh, man, I like them early. I don't want to have to worry about Embiid because if you watch over the course of the game in both game 1 and game 2, you see Embiid get worn out. In the first quarter, he comes out firing. But what does he do late in the game? He fizzles. He disappears. I have notes here. I don't know where the hell it is, but it talks about, here it is right here. Joel Embiid, only 3 points under the 10-minute mark in the fourth quarter. 0 points under 4 minutes remaining in a 2-point ball game. Your best player has 0 points. And if you watched that game, you've seen how healthy and how great he looked early. and how he wore down, slowly fizzled out. And in the fourth quarter, he was a non-factor. All of his shots were low percentage jumpers from 2-point range or 3-pointers, which is a telling sign of his health and his mental state. It's not good. It gets worse as the game progresses. 76ers first quarter for me.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. It just makes so much sense. You know he'll be fresh for that period of time. Then you can sort of take the knee injury out of it.
Don't you agree, Jim? I don't know if you watch the games. I mean, am I right or wrong in saying that? Like, I know this is like something that's it's not really tangible. You just have to, it's an eye thing. You got to see. He wears down. Am I out of my mind for thinking that?
No, yeah, I mean we're seeing it, we're watching it, and I like the way. And Mikey Money's on Sixers first half for the same reason. Yeah. There was a grand salami, Eberk, for Cleveland. You know that Jose is nonplussed. What did you get that first quarter at, Troy?
I got -2, -115.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, I like it. I'm gonna tail the first quarter action, and I agree with first half. I'm gonna focus on first quarter. Let's move on. Next up for us, 10 p.m. Eastern, we have the West first round game 3. We've heard from BJ his best bet, Lakers +1. Denver leading the series 2-0. Nuggets 24-17 on the road this year. Lakers 28-14 at home. This brought me right back to the Kobe night, because on the Kobe night I was sitting there going, Why are the Lakers going to win just because Kobe's like I just don't think Jamal Murray's favorite player was Kobe Bryant. You know, I was just like I didn't get it, and I didn't go with you guys. Now I didn't bet the Nuggets, but I watched the game, extremely interested, and I feel similar things here.
Was that the night you had the under in that game?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
You cashed the under in that game.
Oh, of course I catch the under. Yeah, sorry. Of course, yeah, because in any high pressure situation, I always,
And they were eating the entire possession. In the second half, every shot clock was under 10. It was awesome.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah, you nailed. Yeah, I remember that now. So this is a bit of a different feeling for me. The Lakers played very good last game, and people hammering LeBron for missing that 3. He was the only the only player playing in the fourth quarter for the Lakers. So let's go. So here, let's go into and then to review the cash flow for Top Crocodile. 21% of the tickets, 41% of cash on the Knicks. Like we said, the bigger bets are on the Knicks. At 50-50 on the total, 89% of the cash on the over. And we're gonna. I'll never. I shouldn't say never, but I would be surprised if I missed that. I know how important it is to talk cash flow, and we definitely did for the first 2 games. Let's do it here. Let's start with the line history, though, in Nuggets Lakers. Again, BJ's best bet is in this one. 217.5 to the over. Every single totals had the exact same U-shaped movement. Started moving towards the under. I guess the sharps were sitting there lying in wait, hammered the over when it got down low. So this has come back up. It's now 1.5 up from the original number. Let's get into the spread here in this one. From a spread perspective, we're sitting here with Denver still +1 now. I should say still. They didn't get to +1 till 5:10 p.m. yesterday. But the Lakers have gone from +1.5 to -1. When we get over to the cash flow, then for this one, we have 66% of tickets and 41% of cash on the Nuggets. On the money line, it's 43-40. So yeah, I would like to take the Lakers here, but I wanted to talk it out with you guys before we move on it. Mikey Money says road teams shorter than +3.5 are 0-12-1 if they have no series losses and more than 1 day rest. Favorites with no series.
Is that specific, Mike M? Is that trend specific to round 1, or is that just a playoff wide trend?
We do have one round 1 trend here. Favorites with no series wins in round 1 of the playoffs are 12-0 against spread when the total is less than 216, which is not anymore. I guess when it didn't open, it opened at 216 at Pinnacle, but okay. And Jay says Lakers have lost 10 straight to Denver. Why would you bet them until they win one first? I mean, it's an important note. It's an important note. There's no doubt about it, Chase. And it's here in my notes. Let's start with Denver. In the 10 games leading up to the playoffs, they were shooting 49.4 from the field and 38.8 from three. They have a 2-0 lead, and they're shooting the ball much more poorly. And the Lakers are playing at Denver's pace. Now, that can change now that we're in crypto. Lakers are the fastest pace in the league, the 10 games rolling into the playoffs. They're playing 10 possessions slower a game because they're not in control of the game. Denver is. Now, that could change. On Monday, we watched the Nuggets roll, overcome a 20-point second half deficit. I had them plus 3.5 and plus 5.5. There was some big plus money line opportunities that I did not take. I never do. Whatever. I just care about winning the bet, but I know others get huge scores, and I'm jealous of it. The Lakers were scoring from the field and from three at the exact same pace that they were scoring in the 10 games leading up to the playoffs. It's just they're playing so much slower. And look, we know what Jamal Murray is. He's a stone cold killer. That's what he did. Nuggets have that 10-game winning streak against the Lakers. That's regular season and postseason combined. That dates back to January 2023. And, of course, the 4-game sweep in the Western Conference Finals last year. Jokic goes for 27 points, 20 boards, 10 assists. MPJ goes for 22 and 9 boards. And Jamal Murray looked bad all game long and wins it. I mean, that's just the kind of guy he is. He was 9 of 24 from the field, 0 of 5 from three-point range, but he goes 6 for 8 from the field in the fourth quarter because he's a killer. Davis 32 and 11, LeBron 26 and 12 assists. D'Angelo Russell scored 23 points in game 1, and then he goes. He scored 23 points in game 2 after not looking good in game 1. He looked terrible. 1 of 9 from 3 in game 1. And LeBron did everything in the fourth quarter. The rest of the team scored 8 points. LeBron scored 12. AD scored 0 points on one shot attempt. All I hear is LeBron getting called out for missing the 3. Why isn't anyone calling out the brow? So that's the situation. We have perceived sharper action on the Lakers. I mean, why are we not on them? And I want full game, not first half. Take it away for us here, Troy. Lakers, Nuggets.
Yeah, this has been my most unprofitable team all season long. I pivoted out this morning to make sure I wanted to share, be very transparent with everybody. My ROI back in the Lakers this season, removing totals, just sides, back in the Lakers is minus 48%. And this is the only series I have a losing record. I'm 0-2 in the series. And I was very hopeful for this Lakers team coming into the series. It's not the same team as last year. They got swept last year. Everybody knows that. That was a defensive team. That was a defensive Lakers team. This is definitely an offensive Lakers team. And the role players were inspiring more confidence, guys like D'Lo and Hachimura. But when push comes to shove, the better team has risen to the top. Conditioning. It's the first note I have. They're dog-ass tired. When push comes to shove, down the stretch in the basketball game, when you got to execute, it's noticeable. It's a noticeable difference. And I don't know if it's mile high. It doesn't seem to be, because this is a reoccurring trend even when it's in LA during the regular season. Down the stretch, they run out of steam and they just cannot execute. Whereas the Nuggets execute. They scored 8 of their last 9 possessions last game. If you go back and watch those last 9 possessions, they scored 8 out of 9, and there was no defense being played. And this is in a game 2 where you have the game in hand, like you're right there. And they couldn't do it. They couldn't get the stop. And their body language. I mean, I'm thinking more about game 1 where their body language, they were just completely broken. This Nuggets team completely broke them. And I really believe Jokic is probably the best offensive player and has the biggest offensive impact that I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever watched a player be as successful and as efficient as he is. That being said, we have another kitchen sink game. And this series, unlike the Magic series, has been extremely competitive. It makes me feel like I can't imagine the Lakers are getting swept. You made a good point earlier. It's definitely something you have to take into account. Role players step up in a big way when they're at home. In game 3, Reeves, Hachimura, Prince, Dinwiddie, and Vincent combined for 18 points, shooting 28% from the field, and that's over 120 minutes of action. 18 points in 120 minutes, 28%, that's terrible. We should definitely see some favorable regression from that standpoint. We already talked about mob shit. It's a real fucking thing. And we know the NBA wants more playoff games to be had. LeBron James, too, he visibly wants to win. It's important for his legacy, in my opinion, right? He's playing Jokic, who's another great player who's starting to creep his way up the all-time rankings, no doubt about it. And guess what, man? Goats don't get swept. So if you get swept back-to-back seasons versus the same team, it's a really bad look for legacy from LeBron James. And you could see that he really wants to win the series or at least be more competitive. Ultimately, I knew I had to back the Lakers in some way, shape, or form. This is what I found interesting, Jim, because I was just like you. I was like, you know what? I've bet the Lakers. In game one, I bet the Lakers +7, and I didn't move on the first half. I actually had first half money line, which I cashed with the Lakers, but I had a much bigger bet on the full game +7.5. Didn't cash it. And I was like, this is just the Lakers early type of play. But then I get to thinking at home, I think the sharper move, because, like yesterday, it makes me think of the Heat Celtics, all the sentiment towards the Celtics early and betting the Celtics first half. It's been a trend everybody's backed all year long. I thought it was sharper to take the Heat first quarter, first half. Now, obviously, they get the job done full game, too. It didn't really matter. But in this case, I thought it was vice versa almost, right? The sharp thing to do would be to take the Lakers full game. But when you start looking at the numbers immediately, I switched my sentiment on that right away. The full game spread's -1. The first half spread is -2, the Lakers. When I seen that, I have a sample of 8 games tracked when the first half spread was bigger than the full game spread. And it's always in a pick-a-mish type of range, but rarely do we see that. And this was from last year. I had to dig back through my spreadsheet to find this. You don't see this very often. So I started betting it when the sample was already 2-0. I ended up going 6-0 on first half bets when this exact type of market happened. It wasn't always 1 and 2, but it was similar, right? I've also seen a +1 full game, -1.5, -2, first half. So, seeing that I have an 8-0 sample every game in my sample, and I probably missed some. This is just when I noticed it. I just noted it. You know what I mean? So I know I probably missed some. It's probably not an undefeated sample if you had the full season. But I don't know. Like, start thinking about it. We don't want no smoke with this Nuggets late in the game. I don't want to go up against the best offensive player in a gassed old Lakers team in the fourth quarter. So I settled for the Lakers first half, -2, -110.
Oh, it was a great breakdown. Great breakdown. And I'm gonna be on both. Troy is on the Lakers first half -2.
So I also probably have the wrong sentiment or the wrong approach. A lot of times I think, okay, and this is probably, it's definitely costing me points towards my ROI. I know that for a fact. And I have not been successful live betting over the past few months, but I always am like, okay, if I don't cash this first half, I'll martingale it, put 2 units down to win 1 unit on the full game at a better number. But that probably is not the smartest thing to do. It's probably if they cover first half, they're winning the game type of spot.
No, I can completely understand how you're handling it. I'm going to double up, though. So I'm going to be adding a Magic first quarter and the Lakers first half and full game. Troy in tonight's actions on Lakers first half -2. He's on the Sixers first quarter -2. Oh, I'm adding that, aren't I? The Sixers first quarter. So Sixers first quarter, Lakers first half and full game, and Magic first quarter. Shit, I'm going to have a ton of action here. Chase thinking that the first half under is a great spot. I get that too, but I'm going to stay away from totals with the U-shaped movement. And of course, I'm invested in hoping that games go under because of the Garcia Operation Garcia, I should say. I like it.
I haven't moved on Cavs Magic, but I have bet every game in the playoffs so far. So I probably will tweet out a play on that Cavs Magic game, depending on the final market.
I like it. Let's roll. We are now going to break down the Saturday card in NBA. Let's start it again. Right. We are now going to break down Friday's NBA action here with Troy Torrence. It is Thursday, April 25th at 2:11 p.m. Eastern. I have decided to let that Astros bet go. It seems kind of public. I am thinking about still that first 5 under in Seattle, Texas. I'll make that decision here. But it's time to talk It's time to talk Friday, NBA basketball, Friday, April 26th. We have 3 games, and one starts at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. A nice early start for us. East first round, game 3. Series tied 1-1. Bucks 49-33, 18-22 on the road at the Pacers, 47-35, 26-15 at home. Cambridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's funny, we have BJ talking about how confident he was in the Bucks in game 1. I was so confident in the Pacers in game 2 that I had the conviction to go up against everybody, that was saying that they're not tough enough, they're this, they're that, whatever. I wish I had that.
It was basically my same analysis on the Pacers that I did the Thunder. And as soon as that game tipped off with the Thunder, Jim, I told my wife, I was like, I'm dead. I'm not winning this game. I could just tell instantly. Great job, man. Great job, Jimmy.
Yeah, we've been seeing things clearly, but I have been not firing as much as I would like to, being a little passive at times. I guess because, we're up 5.5 on the Garcia operation in 8 days. I just don't feel the pressure to fire away. We're at Cambridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana for this one. And the Pacers really shoved back. Giannis Antetokounmpo is not expected to be available in game 3. Obviously, that can change. This game doesn't pop off for 27 hours, but I do not expect him to be in the lineup. Let's get into the line history here to get this one started. We'll go over line history, cash flow, and then hand it over to our guy, Troy Torrence. Let me move over to Friday, April 26th. So here we go. We have right now the Pacers as big favorites. The market's telling you Giannis is not coming in on his horse to save the day. Pacers open up at -4. They're now -5.5. A big move towards them. From a total side of things, we're sitting at a 221.5 at a pick'em. This opened up at 225. It's dropped all the way down to 221.5. 221.5. It's dropped all the way down. We have a 3.5 point move towards the under. In the games, all of the games here, and Middleton did not participate in practice, says our guy BJ. And the Pirates have tied it. God, that was okay. But here we go. Bucks, Pacers in Cambridge Fieldhouse. Let's get into the cash flow for this one. From a cash flow perspective, we have 81% of the tickets on the Pacers, 63% of the cash. There are some bigger bets coming in on the Bucks, and it's not stopping this market move towards the Pacers. From a total side of things, we have 35% of the tickets and 70% of the cash on the over. 70% of cash on the over, and this has dropped down to 221.5. The Pacers were playing at the 6th fastest pace in the NBA in the 10 games leading into the playoffs and shooting 51.8 from the field and 37.4 from 3. Obviously, you can talk about the dichotomy between how they shot in game 1 and game 2. I mean, it's 2 completely different basketball games. They shot very well in game 2. Overall in the playoffs, though, they're shooting 47.5 from the field and just 32.4 from 3. If you look at Milwaukee as from the first 2 games of that series, they're shooting 39.1 from 3. They're going to continue to regress. And if Middleton's not there and Giannis is not there, it feels like they're going to give game 3 to the Pacers and game 4 come back with Giannis and hopefully Middleton. And it sort of feels like that's where this is going. I mean, a 125-108 win for the Pacers. They smashed the Bucks. We talk often about how good a team is in their first game without their star. And, we saw it in Bucks in game 1, and then they just get worse. Teams just get worse and worse as it goes along. The situation here makes me think that the Pacers are full of confidence, and they're going to run the Bucks out of the gym in game 3, which doesn't mean they're going to win the series. It just means they're going to win game 3. Take it away for us here, Troy. Bucks, Pacers.
I feel like if you're betting on this game, you're gambling on Giannis's health at this point with what we know now. I think that at -5, it does kind of seem like he's not going to play, but it also kind of feels like a middling number because we've seen all these other spreads and all these other games move 7 or more points. This one's moved 6. So it's a little bit short. It kind of feels like it's kind of middling, and it might go up to 6.5, 7 if Giannis is ruled out. And it might drop down to 1.5, 2 if Giannis is ruled in. But I think what this is saying, regardless, is if Giannis is in, I think the Pacers are still favorites in this game. And you're not going to catch my dumb ass on either side of this. Whether it be right, I'd much rather wait to see than try to catch some closing line value. I definitely don't value CLV as much as other cappers do. So it's definitely, depending on how you feel or how what you personally do. I know everybody's a little bit different. But the big thing for me in this game, and this is another one where I knew it was kind of over early, Jim, and I got frustrated. I walked away. I didn't watch this game too because the Blue Jays, Gaussman, in the bottom of the 5th, gave up those 3 runs. I just had to get out and go get a lift in because that pissed me off. So I got to rewatch this game, to be very honest. So I don't have much, but I do know Pascal Siakam is proving he's absolutely elite. Back-to-back double-doubles, 35-point double-doubles, literally carrying this team single-handedly from what I have watched. And put a gun to my head right now, I'm on the Pacers -5, but I definitely need to dig into this game more. We need more clarity with Giannis. I want clarity because we don't want the old bait and switch from the bookies. I hate being on the wrong side of that.
I'm going to challenge it. I'm going to bet the Pacers as soon as this is over. Giannis not playing game 3. I think they just let go and get everybody ready to go for game 4. We'll see if that blows up in my face, but that's my plan. This game, again, pops off 5:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I don't think, man, I don't want to be on the wrong side of it. I'm just going to wait.
I feel you. No, it makes sense. Let's move on to game 2 on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, West first round. Game 3, Clippers, Dallas Mavericks. Series tied 1-1. Clippers were 26-15 on the road this year, and Coactus, our friend in the chat, always makes me think of a Kawhi Leonard. She named herself Coactus. She's Toronto Capper, and Kawhi is back. Kawhi is back. Mavs tied up the series 96-93 in Los Angeles on Tuesday. Luka went for 32. Kyrie went for 23. Luka took over late. Dallas is shooting exactly the same in the playoffs from 3 that they shot in the 10 games leading up to this. The one thing that's happened for both these teams who are playing in the top 10 in pace in the 10 games leading up to the playoffs is they've slowed way, way, way down. And both teams are shooting very well from 3, and both teams are shooting very poorly from the field overall. There are no easy buckets in this one. Let's get into the line history here for this one. From a total side of things, we're dealing with a 210.5. This opened up at 209.5. It got down to 208.5, but it's back up to 210.5. So we've gone up a point. We talk about the spread here in this one. We have Dallas at -4.5. They opened up -4, a half-point move towards the Mavericks. And then when we have the cash flow, we have 31% of tickets and 47% of cash on the under. Sharp action on the under, although it's gone up a point. We have 24% of tickets and 55% of cash on the Clippers. Bigger bets coming in on the Clippers. They should be better than they were in game 2, but will they be good enough to win an American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas? Take it away for us here, Troy. Friday action, Clippers, Mavericks.
I am extremely high, especially after what I've seen in this series and the tale of two games, basically, between game 1 and game 2. I'm extremely high on this Mavs team. I was on both game 1 and game 2, so I split there. They got jumped on out of the gate, kind of surprised, in my opinion, by the Clippers in game 1. But in game 2, they certainly came out ready, and they had some schematic changes that resulted in a W. And from what I've seen the past few months, no team in the NBA is playing advantage basketball to the extent that the Mavs are. If you watch that game last game they played in game 2, the matchup hunting was just incredible. They got the matchup they wanted so frequently that they weren't getting in game 1, and they did that, exploiting guys like James Harden and Norman Powell. That's who they were hunting, specifically James Harden. So then, and you've seen what that did to his offensive impact. He had a terrible game offensively, and it's because they exploited him on defense, forced him to play D against Luka. And how'd they do that? Because in game 1, they couldn't do that. They started running what you call a cross screen or a wedge screen. Luka coming down the court, gets a cross screen below the free throw line, catches the ball on the block, a little bit higher than the block, but below the 3-point line. And from there, it results in a one-on-one situation, basket, back to the basket. And if you want to double team Luka, go ahead. I don't know how these European dudes do it. They always seem to make the right read. Him and Jokic are very similar in terms of just their success rate, making the right read every single time. And the defense, what surprised me the most about that last game was the defense from Luka. And if you watch some of the post-game interviews, Luka went up to Jason Kidd and was like, "Hey, don't double when I'm playing defense on Kawhi or Paul George. I got this. Let me play one-on-one defense." And he went out there and absolutely locked the fuck down. It was incredible to watch because, playoff Luka, I guess, is a great defender, because in the regular season, you really don't see that. Even though their defense was way better in the second half, you still didn't see Luka playing defense like he did, moving his feet, cutting the guy off. I mean, just picture perfect defense. And this, to me, I mean, the two best players in the league right now are, I guess you could talk, a few other guys fit in the category, but Jokic, European white guys, surprisingly enough. And here's the best part about what Luka did on defense. When he finished the possession, when he got the stop, he started posturing and gesturing towards the bench, getting them all pumped up. He's leading by example, Jimmy. Like, that's super important. When you see your leader, a guy of his caliber, a superstar, a freaking, generational superstar like Luka Doncic is, and he's pumped up about the defense he's playing, like, you don't see, that's just like inspirational. I'm getting the chills right now just thinking about it, because you don't see that out of guys like Luka Doncic, man. And seeing that really is just so important for me to see. And it gives me an incredible amount of faith in this team. And yes, I think the Clippers have some advantages in this game, especially with Zubac. And if Gafford's out, they made some changes defensively, forcing him to go baseline. And when he spun back to the middle, that's when they would start digging. And it wasn't always. I mean, they threw doubles at him, but most of it was just digs at him. And it definitely seemed to knock him off his course. Like, it wasn't in game one. They didn't do none of that. They just allowed him to play one-on-one and get to the middle of the lane where he has a little over-the-shoulder hook shot. I also think Kawhi's not very healthy. To me, clearly not healthy. Harden is always unreliable in the playoffs, especially in this version of the NBA with how physical this game has become. And they're matchup hunting him on defense, making him work from the start, from tip to finish of the game, so the final whistle blows. Then you got playoff P, who's struggling to create space. Yeah, he's a great player. He's going to make jump shots, but he's struggling to create space. And I think that wore on him as the game went on. He struggled down the stretch. And just to keep this in mind, this Clippers team was a 500 basketball team, 50-50, whether they won or lost after the All-Star break. I like the Mavs to take care of business. They've been historically great at home in the playoffs. They've covered 6 of their last 7 home playoff games under the Luka Doncic era. Luka's ability to make reads, complemented by Kyrie's ball handling and same ability to make those reads. Then you got the Clippers' inconsistency in their old-ass roster. And here's some trends. Public home teams in round 1, game 3, last year were 3-0, winning by 16 points on average. That is the Dallas Mavericks. Last 2 playoff seasons, public home teams with a spread between 3 and 6, 11-4 ATS, winning by 9 points on average. Since 2010, in game 1 and game 3, in round 1, game 3, home favorites of 4 or more are perfect 4-0 if the series is tied 1-1, winning by 15 points on average. I think we're going to see them bring the freaking house and really run this Clippers team off the court by margin in this game 3. So I'm on the Mavs -4. I tweeted it out as soon as the line opened. Mavs -4, -108. And this is a spot where I'll definitely be looking for money line parlay options, probably with cash cows of some nature. But I really like the Mavs in this spot. Jimmy, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Mavs -4, -108 for Troy. I'm with BJ. I think Kawhi's fine. I think that he just, needed a game under his belt. But I think there's a huge difference between like Kawhi and Embiid.
Yeah.
With their injuries.
One's more rusty and one's actually.
Yeah,
more.
I believe that. And I need to sit with this game for longer. Troy on the Mavericks -4 at -108. The final game on Friday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves 56-26, 26-15 on the road at the Phoenix Suns, 49-33, 25-16 at home at Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. And the Suns have shown they have no heart. And, again, getting talked off of spots. I got talked off of the Timberwolves in game 2. It's fine. It kind of still irks me a bit, but it's fine. And let's get into the line history here for this one. We have Phoenix sitting at -4 at -105. They open up at -3.5. It's hard to imagine this Suns team not, playing much, much better here. Down 2-0, kitchen sink situation, as Troy's been talking about. This total is at 207. Open up at 209. We've dropped 2 points here, but it is juiced to the over. And then when we get into the cash flow here for this one, we have 74% of the tickets on the Suns. We don't have cash information from Action at this point. There's not a lot of tickets in at this point either. And we have no information on the total. Phoenix was playing at the 21st fastest pace in the league. They've slowed down here in the playoffs. It's not a big deal. They're shooting worse, though. 34% from three. They were shooting 38.9, so it's not that big of a dip. 44.4 from the field. They were shooting 46.9. Nothing like the dip the Cavaliers and the Magic have faced, which is why I'm on the over in that spot. And then Minnesota has not been shooting the ball very well from three, 32.8%, yet they've dominated the first two games, won 120-95 at first, and then on Tuesday, won 105-93 to take the stranglehold. So they're shooting worse from the field. They're shooting worse from three, but they're dominating the Suns. Do the Suns have heart and character, and will they bounce back here in a situation where they have to throw, as you say, the kitchen sink at the Minnesota Timberwolves? So take it away for us here, Troy. The final game on Friday evening, Wolves-Suns.
Yeah, like you said, this is the kitchen sink, but at the same time, it goes back to what I've been talking about as well as the kitchen sink is the thug rating, the physicality, the toughness, the desire. Where is it from the Suns team? We're not seeing it. We're not fucking seeing it. And these role players for the T-Wolves, this makes me want to back this on is how big of the contributions these role players for the T-Wolves have been contributing. McDaniels had 25 last game, Conley 18, Alexander Walker 10 points. I don't think that that's going to be sustainable on the road, especially the first game on the road. So I think we should see some regression offensively from this Timberwolves team. But I have so many issues with this Suns team in this matchup specifically. The lack of depth from the Suns is evident. Eric Gordon, that's their best player coming off the bench. They have no thugs, and they have way too much finesse. When Grayson Allen's your toughest player, I think that speaks volumes to kind of the genetics or DNA of your team. They're getting killed on the offensive glass, allowing rebounds on 33% of misses. And that's the most in the playoffs so far. And they're allowing the most points off turnovers in the playoffs. I mean, they're either not hustling to get back on defense or the turnovers are so blatantly bad that they have no chance. And there's a little bit of both mixed in there, but they struggle to defend the pick and roll. They are struggling so bad defending pick and roll. I don't know if it's lack of size. They tried Nurkic. He's no good. They put in Eubanks. He's a little bit better. I don't know why. I mean, maybe Nurkic is just a little bit too slow. Drop coverage didn't work. Show and recover got exposed. And they struggle mightily against this T-Wolves defensive scheme. The level of physicality, like I said, they're allowing way more to happen in this playoffs than ever before in the NBA that I've ever seen personally. Finch is leaving his defenders on an island. One-on-one with great, lengthy, tough, physical defenders. And what that does is when you play one-on-one against this sub-team, the Suns team, and you could play one-on-one versus their great offensive talent, you take away the Suns' biggest weapon, which is catching and shooting. They're one of the most efficient teams, catch and shoot. Their catch and shoot efficiency was top 5 in the NBA. In the second half of the season, it was number 1 in the NBA. They led the NBA in assists per game since the All-Star break. Now in the playoffs, they're last in assists per game. And this one-on-one matchup with McDaniels and Durant, it looks like Finch just wants that matchup all day. He wants Durant to go one-on-one with McDaniels. I think he's living with that. And it's been working out for him. Talked about making reads offensively, and the main difference between Ant Edwards year over year is his ability to make the right read and execute, very consistently down the stretch. And you can speak volume. This also applies to Mike Conley, who did the same thing. They destroyed drop coverage with pocket passes. They destroyed show and recover with skip passes. As soon as that defender pinched down, so when you have to play up off a screen, right, that's playing over the top instead of a drop coverage, you're playing over the top. Well, you need the help side defender to pinch down so you can't give an entry pass to the screener, right? The screen and roll. You have to defend the roll, so you get a pinch immediately. I mean, Ant Edwards is making the read, throwing a skip pass across the court, and their role players have been knocking down those shots. And I don't know if anything's going to change from that standpoint. But with all that being said, this is a kitchen sink. We already talked about how this favors teams down 0-2. We already talked about public home favorites. We got another one right now. especially when they're laying more than 3 points. They've been great historically in game 1 of a home series. And, of course, my series extension, mob shit theory. I think that's going to apply here to some extent. But I just don't know if I get behind this Suns team. They've been extremely inconsistent all year. I think they're at a severe matchup disadvantage with this new look NBA. And in my opinion, the T-Wolves have the best player on the floor when you talk about offense and defense combined, Anthony Edwards. So I have no action on this game right now. This is one I really don't know if I'll even be able to get to the window with, because I can only be on the Timberwolves, but I can only be on the Suns at the same time. So this is a pass.
I was curious, very curious to see if everybody had given up on the Suns. And every single person in the chat has given up on the Suns. I'm going to be betting the Suns as soon as this show is over. A full game -4. Sort of a test, because this is will show the, what everybody is feeling in the gambling world, and that's that a lot of people lost money trusting the Suns in the first games. I'm not one of them, but when everybody turns their back on a basketball team after 2 games on the road, that's when I want to jump in, and I'm doing it. I'm going to be betting the Suns -4 as soon as the show is over, which means my Saturday action will be the Pacers and Suns. I'm going to bet them both right now, or I might be an hour. I got to go pick up Ella. Might be 30 minutes. I'm going to be on the Pacers. I'm going to be on the Suns full game. I'm going to be on the Suns full game with confidence. I'm not saying Suns are going to win the series. I'm just saying when everybody turns their back, that's when I want in. And that's what happened. That's what's happening here in the chat. And so I'm in. I think this number's great. And we're only getting this number because they got the shit kicked out of them twice in a row. I'm not saying that Book and KD and Beal are 3 players with a ton of heart and character, but I'm going to trust them to step up for their legacies here tomorrow evening. So there you go. We have official action on Friday. Troy is on the Mavericks -4. I'm going to be on the Pacers 5.5 and the Suns -4. I do not think Giannis is coming back in game 3. I don't. And I'm going to bet that he's not coming back. And Middleton hurt. Bucks are like a wounded animal that needs to be put out of their misery. Now, Giannis will come back and change the whole storyline. I'll wait for that to happen. That is our NBA breakdowns for today, Thursday, April 25th. You got Thursday action from our guy Troy and myself, and I'm all over this card this evening, which makes me nervous because I didn't move. I got talked off the spots yesterday. That's not a very good recipe for me when I hammer away after standing on the sidelines and watching money that didn't come into my wallet that would have. But I'm on the first half over and full game over in Cleveland, Orlando. I'm going to be adding Magic first quarter. Troy's on the Sixers first quarter. I'm going to be adding that after the show. You got -2, -115. I'm going to be on Troy's on the Lakers first half. I'm going to be on the first half and full game. And then we talked about Friday's action. Troy, thank you so much for all of your hard work. We got to put a bow on this show. I got to get out of here. But thank you so much for all of your hard work, my man. Please support Troy on X. All he does is put out action for people to get their cash. Doesn't ask for anything in return. At Troy Torrence 11 on X. Troy, my man, any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
Hell no. Pub Sports Radio, the best damn community in the industry. Jimmy the Bag, what you do to be fully prepped with notes and monologue on each game, day in and day out. Extremely impressive stuff.
Thank you.
Jimmy the Bag, another guy that leads by example. One of a kind in this industry, and I'm just so privileged to be sitting up here with you, man. Thank you. And have a good day. Let's get that cash.
Thank you very much for the very, very kind words. I love this group. I'm inspired by everybody in the chat and everybody who supports the show and all the guests that we have to work my ass off. And it's inspiring. And it never ends. There's Kent Davies, fresh off picking up a K yesterday on the Milwaukee Brewers here. Jose, my man, jump back on with us here. We got to put a bow on this show. I imagine you're steaming over your first Red Sox action, but I didn't get in on the Astros, which now looks like is pissed me off. And I'm not going to I didn't get in on the first 5 under, even though that market started moving to the over in the Seattle, Texas. I'll let that go. But man,
the Royals game is gone right now. It's 2-0.
Royals.
Yeah,
Right
yeah. Again, 3 straight spectacular starts. Can he make it a 4th straight? Very, very, very interesting situation out there. It looked like that under 9.5 was cooked. They're now offering me $45.84 on that $100 bet. I still
If it
imagine
makes you feel better as well, the Cubs are threatening. Bottom of the 1st.
Oh, that does make me feel a little better. Why am I not over there? That does make me feel a
Yeah,
little better.
I almost rebet the Red Sox again here. I think the Red Sox.
Well, that's what I was
They'll
going
come
to tell
back
you.
on this
You
game.
know, the plus 4.5s and the 3.5s on the team falling behind has been money in the bank for me. As soon as, and then betting it is when the next team gets up to bat. So you'll be down 4, you'll get plus 4.5, and the vig will be totally normal. So it's all
2 outs to the Sox. So
wow.
a lot of shirtless pacing going to ensue here very soon.
Well, let's go get that cash. I've got to go. So Jose's going to close up this show. But in a review in NHL, I'm on the Lightning and I'm on the Islanders and I'm on the first period under 1.5 and the full game under 5. I have a ton of action tonight. I mean, I have to remind myself that this is the life I always dreamt of. Because good God, is it a battle right now? I'm just feeling the effects of it. I'm going to add Rangers -1. I'm going to be on the first period under 1.5, full game under 5.5 Rangers Capitals, but that's going against me. Go ahead. Overs, bet them. I'm going to wait because I'm going to be on the unders, but I'm going to move on the Rangers -1 today. The Preds team total over and the full game on the Preds. I really like both those looks. I didn't think of the Preds team total over. That was a Gogster thought. And Winnipeg, Colorado, I'm off tomorrow. And then I'm going to add the only other bet in MLB for me. I'm going to take the under 8 in Yankees Athletics. And then we just went over NBA. I got to run. Jose's going to close the show up. Thank you guys so much for your support. I got to be out of school in 7 minutes. Kent Davies says you need to get some sleep. That shit's important. It's not going to happen, and it's not happening. And there's nothing I can do about it. This is the life I always dreamt of. So
go pick up Ella.
Okay, go and Cubs loaded, bases no out. That makes me feel much better. Thank you for that, Benjamin, my man. Shout out to Benjamin Mills. I love all you guys. I wish I could give you all shouts out, but I gotta go get Ella Ola from school. Let's go out there and get that goddamn cash. It would do the work and then reap the goddamn rewards. Court Wiley, you're the man. You're having a great hockey pool too. Go get that cash. 2-2 in Twin Sox. I know a lot of you guys moved on to Twins lives here in business. Jose, awesome job. Can't wait to do it again with you tomorrow, my friend. And I'll catch you guys on the flip. Fucking leche, motherfuckers, man.
Thank you as always, Jimmy the Bag. You know, it's funny. There's not much else to do. We could have ended the show right there, but thank you guys as always. I want to give you guys a shout out before we head out of here. Justin, Kent, Court, Billy, Doug, Kelly, Benjamin Mills, Oldie, MMA Locker Room Mills is in here as well. Shout out to you, Mills. Good luck with your bubble bath. Trisha, good luck with the horses. Billy Friedrich, Rodney Barton, Fat Wally, BJ, Mikey Money, Mikey De Niro in here as well. Don't forget to tune in to Mikey De Niro later today. I'm watching this Red Sox game, going to be stressing. Hopefully they come back here. But as always, we appreciate you guys because without you guys, this would be nothing. Oldie, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Hit the like button while you guys are here. Follow us on Twitter. Hit the Pup Sports Radio shop. We've got great stuff in there as always. If you're a gold member, you get a discount there as well. So shout out to you guys. Say hey. We'll see you guys tomorrow.